Hi all. Today we're going to discuss the ISI 2024 UGA paper. The UGA one was comparatively on a moderate to difficult side. Few of the questions were simpler, and the UGB part was comparatively easier. Let's start with the UGA solutions. Chalo, this is the first question. X is given. We have to find the value of 1 plus 1 by x whole to the power of 30. So technically, if you clearly observe this thing, this is actually 1 plus 5 root 2, 5 fifth root of 2 basically, so which is 2 raised to the power of 1 by 5, and this is root 4 fifth root of 4, which is nothing but 2 raised to the power of 1 by 5 whole square. And similarly here also 8 fifth root of 8, which is 2 raised to the power of 1 by 5 whole cube, right? And similarly here we have fifth root of 16, which is 2 raised to the power of 1 by 5 whole to the power of 4. So you can clearly see that this is a GP series. So we use the GP series formula. What is the first term? First term is 1R, common ratio is 2 to the power of 1 by 5, and number of terms is 5. We use the formula of GP series. So what is x? X is 2 to the power of 1 by 5 whole to the power of 5 minus 1 divided by 2 to the power of 1 by 5 minus 1. And we simplify from here. So this is how much? This is actually 1 upon. Simply this will become 2 to the power of 1 by 5 minus 1. So what is this x? So what they are asking for to find the value of 1 plus 1 by x. So 1 plus 1 by x whole to the power of 30 will be 1 plus 1 by x, which means 2 to the power of 1 by 5 minus of 1. Reciprocal of this thing. So 1 and 1 will cancel out. So we are left out with 2 to the power of 1 by 5 raised to the power of 30, which is 2 to the power of 6. So which is 64. Option D is correct. Let's move to the next question. Let J be the number selected at random from 1 to 2024. What is the probability that J is divisible by 9 and 15? So first of all, they are saying if the number is divisible by 9 and 15, so definitely the number must be divisible by LCM of 9 and 15, which is 45. So the number J, that number J must be divisible by 45. That number J must be divisible by, J must be divisible by 45. That is the LCM of 9 and 15. LCM of 9 and 15 is what? 45, right? And J is the number selected at random from this particular set, 1, 2, 3, and so on till 2024. So what I do, we see the multiples of 45. Fine. We see the multiples of 45. Those are the favorable cases. Actually, we count the multiples of 45. How many multiples are there in this particular set? And we'll divide that by the total possibilities, the total number, which is 2024. So what are the multiples of 45? Multiples of 45 are basically, how do we figure out the multiples of 45? Out of this thing, multiples of 45. We take the greatest integer of 2000, and how many are there? 2024 numbers are there. So 2024 divided by 45 will be approximately around something 44.9. So the greatest integer will be 44. So total 44 multiples of 45 will be there in this particular set. Fine. So final answer, the probability will be what? 44 divided by the total possibilities, which is 2024. So we can simplify this thing. So how much is this? This will go with 11 directly. I think 11,4, and then we have 184, and similarly 4, and this is how much? This is 46. So 1 by 46 must be the answer. 1 by 46. Option B is correct. Answer is 1 by 46. Again, a very straightforward question. Okay, let us move on to the question number 3. Let Sn be the set of all n-digit numbers whose digits are 1 or 2. Okay, and there are no consecutive 2s. All right, so we have Sn to be the set of all those n-digit numbers whose digits are 1 or 2. Also, there are no consecutive 2s. You cannot take consecutively 2s. Fine. Like some of the numbers are given over here. So what we have to find is the number of elements in S10. So if I say Sn is the number of n digits consisting of 1 and 2, if Sn is the number of n digits, the set of all n digit numbers consisting of 1 and 2, fine. So you can figure out this thing. It's a question on recurrence relation. Let's say the first element is 1, let's say the first digit, for instance, the first digit is 1. Okay. Either the first, we'll try to create the recurrence relation from the first digit point of view. Either the first digit can be 1, or in the second case, one more case can be possible where the first digit is 2 actually. So if the first digit is 1, so the remaining n minus 1 digits can be selected in Sn minus 1 ways, right? And similarly, now for the second case, we are having the first digit to be 2. So definitely the next digit must be 1, because there are 2 consecutive 2s are not possible. So next digit must be 1. So the remaining n minus 2 digits can be selected in Sn minus 2 ways. That can be done in Sn minus 2 ways. So we have a recurrence relation, that is Sn, the sum of all n digit numbers, like the number of n digit numbers, which is consisting of 1 and 2. So we have this recurrence relation given by Sn is equal to Sn minus 1 plus Sn minus 2. So we are just asked to solve this thing. And we have a very small value, that is S10 actually. So they have asked to find what is the value of S10. Okay. Let's see for one value. Let's say, for instance, for what happens for S1. For S1, we'll have 2 components, right? 1 and 2. For S1, there will be 2 members, 1 and 2. So there are 2 members for S1, right? 2 members for S1. For S2, for a string of 2 members, like what are the possibilities? 1, 1 can be there, 1, 2 can be there, and 2, 1 can be there. String of 2 numbers, you can say. So you cannot say 2, 2, you cannot take 2, 2, right? So these are the only 3 possibilities. Getting my point? Also, we are getting some Fibonacci type of sequence over here. You can notice this thing. We are getting some Fibonacci type of sequence. So here the number will go in this way. Like let's say for the first case, we are having 2 and 3. The next number is what? The sum of these 2 basically. So we have 5, right? The next number is what? 8. The next number is what? 13. Sum of these 2. The next number is what? 21. Then 34. Then the next number is 55. Then we have 89. And lastly, we have 144. So how many we have taken? They have simply asked for the number of elements in S10. So what is S10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here we have taken the 10th component. So we have S10 must be 144 definitely. S10 definitely must be 144. S10 definitely must be 144. So option C is correct. Let's move to the next question. Question number 4, which says that there are 30 true and false questions in an examination. A student knows the answer to 20 questions and guesses the answers to the remaining 10 questions at random. Fine. What is the probability that the student gets exactly 24 answers correct? So in total, there are 30 questions. They are asking to find the probability that the student gets exactly 24 answers correct. Now, out of these 24 answers, the student already knows the answer to the 20 questions correctly. So he has given the answers to the 20 questions correctly, right? So out of these 24 questions, 20 questions are already known to him. So remaining are what? Remaining are 10 questions, out of which he has to do 4 correct questions and 6 incorrect questions, right? 4 correct and 6 incorrect questions. So if I consider randomly, let's say for instance, I call this to be, success P, and the incorrect ones are failure actually. So Q, let's say. So can I say that they are basically equiprobable? The probability to get correct answers is basically half, and the probability to get incorrect answers is also half actually. right? So they are equiprobable. So can I say from here that in the question they are asking for the probability that the student gets exactly 4 correct? In the question they're asking for, you just need to see that the probability that exactly 4 of them are correct. That's what they're asking for. Probability exactly 4 of them are correct. And that can be done in how many ways? First, what I do is I'll choose 4 questions, 4 correct ones out of the 10. So that can be done in 10C 4 ways. And then remaining probability of the success is what? Half of them are half success and half failure. So we have half raised to the power of how many are there? 4 are correct. So half raised to the power of 4. And then multiplied by the failure, which is half raised to the power of 6. Fine. So we simplify this thing, we'll get the probability. ये सक्सेस वाला है, ये सक्सेस वाला है, ये सक्सेस वाला का probability, and here we have failure वाले का probability. So we have 10C4 times of half raised to the power of 4 times of half raised to the power of 6. So we simplify this thing. What is it? 10 times of 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 divided by 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. And how much is this? Multiplied by 1 upon 2 to the power of 10. We simplify this thing. Ye 4, 2, 8. And here we have 3. So we have 210. 210 divided by 2 raised to the power of 10. Do we have something like this? 210 is not there, but we can simplify one more. 2 to the power of 1 more 2 can be cancelled out. So we have 105 divided by 2 to the power of 9. One of the 2 can be cancelled. So we have 105 divided by 2 to the power of 9, which is option A. Option A is correct. Yes, definitely. Here, exactly, he has done 20 correctly. So he just needs to do 4 more correct. So technically, they are asking for the probability of getting exactly 4 correct. So P of X is equal to 4 I have taken. Fine. Let us move to the next question. आ जाओ भाई, next one. Let T be a right angle triangle in the plane whose side lengths are in geometric progression. Fine. So we have a right angle triangle whose side lengths are in geometric progression. Let NT denote the number of sides of T that have integer lengths. Okay. We have to find the maximum value of NT over all such T. So first, what I do, in this right angle triangle, we consider the side lengths to be in geometric progression. So we consider this in such a way, like I consider this to be A, and this is AR, and this is AR square. Definitely R is greater than 1 in this case. Obvious reasons. AR and AR square, because if R is 1, then this and this perpendicular and this hypotenuse will become the same. So definitely R must be greater than 1. Fine. So we can use this Pythagoras theorem, right? So AR square, AR whole square, AR square ka whole square is equal to AR square plus A square. So one of the A will cancel from here. So we can simplify. A square will get cancelled. So we are left out with R to the power of 4 minus R square minus 1 is equal to 0. Right? So if we solve for R square from here, R square is what? Definitely R square will be some rational number. Likewise, if we solve, so what is this? 1 plus minus root over of B square minus 4AC. Matlab ki root over of 5 divided by 2. So definitely R square is what? R square is rational. R must be definitely rational. R bhi to rational hoga. R also must be definitely rational number. R cannot be negative. So R is something like this. 1 plus minus root over of 5 divided by 2. Something like this. R will be also, a rational number. And here we'll not take the negative value because, root over of 5 for 1 minus, this will become actually negative. This will become negative. So we have only one value of R. R square is rational number. You cannot take plus minus because for minus, 1 minus root over of 5 divided by 2 will become negative. So we have only 1 plus root over of 5 divided by 2. And here we have the value of R. R square is irrational, and so as R also. R is also irrational. Okay. So we have to find the maximum value of nt over all such t's. Acha, let us analyze. If let's say if a is an integer, if a is integer, let's say, if a is integer, then ar square is also, ar square is irrational, right? Ar square is what? Irrational. If a is integer, ar square is what? Irrational number. Because integer time r square just now we have seen r square is what? Irrational. So integer times of irrational number will always become irrational number, right? So if ar square is irrational, so as ar also, ar is also irrational. Ar will also become irrational, right? So there is one case over here only, right? अच्छा, suppose मान लेते suppose for instance if I consider AR to be, AR belongs to Z, let's say, मान लेते suppose, है नहीं वैसे, मान लेते कि suppose AR belongs to Z, means AR is also integer. If AR is integer, AR times of R will be irrational, because R is what? Irrational. R is irrational. So AR times of R will be irrational. But if AR is integer, ध्यान से सुनना, AR times of R is irrational, but A cannot be integer in this case. A will not become integer in this case. अगर AR integer होता है तो AR times of AR is irrational, but A cannot be integer in that scene. A cannot be integer in that scene. ठीक है ना? नहीं तो if A is integer, फिर क्या होगा? AR into R won't be rational. Sorry, won't be irrational. Fine. तो हाँ, यहाँ पे A integer हो नहीं सकता. A cannot be integer. So maximum nt in any case is basically what? 1 only. Because nt is the number of sides of t that have integer length. So maximum nt can be 1 only. ठीक है, वो 1 ही बनेगा. Maximum nt this case is only 1. So option B must be correct. Okay, next we have this question number 6, which says that let x1, x2, x3 and so on xn be non-negative real numbers such that summation of xi is given to be 1. We have to find the maximum possible value of summation root over of xi. This is a very simple question. You can solve this in many ways. You can solve this using Cauchy-Squartz also. That is the simplest way. Or you can solve this using, mth power theorem also, mth power inequality. So we can solve this using Cauchy-Squartz. Best will be that only. I hope you know Cauchy-Squartz. What is Cauchy-Squartz? AI summation AI bi whole square is less than or equal to summation AI square into summation bi square. This is the basic Cauchy-Squartz inequality. So you just have to choose AIs and BIs wisely. That's all. So what I do? Summation of xi is given, right? Summation of xi means x1 plus x2 and so on till xn is given. This sum is given to be 1. And they are asking for what is the value of this sum? Root over of x1 plus root over of x2 and so on till root over of xn. That's what they are asking for. So we have what? Root over of x1 times of 1 plus what I do? I'll write this in this way, root over of x2 times of 1 and so on till root over of xn times of 1. I'll write this AI bi in this way. I am taking this to be the AIs, means root over of x1, root over of x2 and root over of xn and so on. These are all your AIs and 1, 1, 1. These are basically your BIs. So this whole square is less than or equal to root of x1 whole square plus root over of x2 whole square and so on till root over of xn whole square multiplied by 1 square plus 1 square and so on till 1 square as per this theorem, as per Cauchy-Squartz inequality. This is Cauchy-Squartz inequality we have used. Cauchy-Squartz inequality. And I remember doing this question also during the lecture. In one of the lecture, we have also done this particular question. This inequality was there. I remember doing this thing. So this is a very common question actually. So we have the value of all of these, right? We have the value of all of these. Root over of x1 whole square, which is x1 only. So x1 plus x2 plus x3 and so on. We have the value of this. What is this? 1. So 1 multiplied by 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 and so on till how many? N times. n times 1. So we have 1 times of n. And once you take the square root from here, what is the left hand side? Left hand side is root over of x1 plus root over of x2 and so on till root over of xn. So you take the square root. So this will become what? Root over of n. So root over of n is the final answer. So the maximum value of this thing will be root over of n. Option B is correct. A very straightforward question. You can also solve this using mth power theorem. You can try using this mth power theorem. Okay, next we move on to the next question, which says that the precise interval on which the function fx is equal to log x square minus 2x minus 3 base half is monotonically decreasing. Okay, so first we check the domain of this function. This is a very routine question, and this question was also given in my DPP sheet. Okay, this is a very routine question. So log of x square minus 2x minus 3. So what I do is first I check the domain of the function. What is the domain? For domain, x square minus 2x minus 3 must be strictly greater than 0. Base is constant. Base is basically half in this case. Okay. So what is it basically? So here we factorize this thing. What is this? The factors are what? X minus 3 and x plus 1. Right? Okay. So, and this is greater than 0. So what we get from here? X belongs to Weber method. So x belongs to what? X belongs to minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. Okay. This is the domain of the function we have. Now we study the derivative of the function because we need to see the interval in which this is monotonically decreasing. In the domain in which interval this is monotonically decreasing. So what I do? I differentiate this function. Okay. First, to differentiate this, I'll rewrite this as log of x square using the properties of log of x square minus 2x minus 3 divided by log of half. Using the properties of log, I'm rewriting this function. Okay. Now log of half is basically minus of, I can write this as minus of log of 2. This will come out. So minus of log of 2 times of, we are having log of x square minus 2x minus 3. So if you differentiate this thing, so f dash of x will be minus of log of 2 times of differentiation of this thing, which is 1 upon x square minus 2x minus 3 into differentiation of x square minus 2x, which is 2x minus 2. Fine. Once again, we can simplify this thing. Now it's saying that it is monotonically decreasing. Monotonically decreasing means f dash of x must be less than 0. So this quantity must be less than 0, right? So if this is less than 0, now here we have minus of log of 2. Minus of log of 2 is a negative quantity. So if you multiply with a negative sign, okay, or just simply just multiply or divide with negative of log of 2. So this orientation of this inequality will change. So this will become 2x minus 2 divided by x square minus 2x minus 3 is greater than 0. Because of this negative sign, this will change. Okay. So now we factorize this thing further. Like from here also, we can take out 2 common and make this as x minus 1. So this 2 simply goes off. So we have x minus 1 divided by, niche we are having x minus 3 times of x minus 1. X minus 3 times of x plus 1, sorry. And this is greater than 0. So once again, we use the wavy curve method here only. So using the wavy curve method, so what are the turning points? Turning points are basically minus 1. From here, we have minus 1, 1 and 3. So minus 1, 1 and 3. Okay. So plus, minus, 5. And so here we have to consider that region where this is positive. So we have this region, right? Here we have this region we have positive. So this is our concern region. X belongs to where to where? Minus 1 to 1 union 3 to infinity. So we have this relation. So now we have two relations. We have got this relation first and we have got this relation. So now we have two relations. We will take what? The intersection of both of this. We'll take the intersection of both of them. ठीक है? तो यही पे कर लेते हैं. ठीक है? हमें क्या चाहिए? Common region चाहिए ना? Common solution. Because the precise interval on which the function is monotonically decreasing. Right? So domain में जहां पे ये decrease हो रहा है, in the domain, wherever this is decreasing, we have to figure out that. So we take the common region, common intersection of both of these intervals. ठीक है, तो क्या क्या बोल रहा है, एक बोल रहा है कि -1 to 1 this region we have considered, and this region we have considered, and from the first inequality we are having -infinity to -1, तो -1 से -infinity and 1 to infinity, 1 to infinity, ठीक है ना। तो कॉमन रीजन कहां पे दिखाई दे रहा है, कॉमन रीजन ऑफ बोथ ऑफ देम, कॉमन रीजन सेटिस्फाइंग बोथ दीज इंटरवल्स, दिस इज अ कॉमन रीजन ना। ये यहां से शुरू हो रहा है कॉमन रीजन, यहाँ पे देखो पॉजिटिव भी है, राइट, and also this inequality is being satisfied, like I mean to say that this interval is being satisfied over here, we are having the common solution। तो x क्या होना चाहिए, x must belong to 3 to infinity, x must belong to 3 to infinity, so option D is correct। Okay, next we are having the 8th question, which says that the angle subtended at the origin by the common chord of the circles x square plus y square minus 6x minus 6y is equal to 0 and x square plus y square is equal to 36 is what? So first we have the simplest circle. We have drawn the simplest circle, x square plus y square is 36, whose center is at the origin and radius is 6 units. So this point is 6, 0 actually, and here we have 0, 6. The simplest circle we are having. And also in this picture, we are having one more circle, that is x square plus y square minus 6x minus 6y is equal to 0. The center is what? Center is at 3, 3, right? And radius is what? Root over of 9 plus 9, right? 3 square plus 3 square. C तो है नहीं, C तो 0 है, C is 0. So which is what? Root over of 18, which is 3 root 2, right? अच्छा. So it's a circle which is having the center at 3, 3 and 3 root 2. अच्छा, ध्यान से अगर देखोगे ना, just carefully see over here, the distance of, look at the distance of this 33.33, ठीक है ना, जो सेंटर है, सेंटर ऑफ दिस सेकंड फर्स्ट सर्कल, बेसिकली द फर्स्ट सर्कल विच दे हैव गिवन x स्क्वायर प्लस y स्क्वायर माइनस 6x माइनस 6y 0। ध्यान से अगर देखोगे द सेंटर ऑफ दिस सर्कल, ठीक है, सेंटर ऑफ दिस, जस्ट लुक एट द डिस्टेंस ऑफ 33 एंड 0 0, सॉरी 6 0, जस्ट लुक एट द डिस्टेंस ऑफ 33 एंड 6 0, ध्यान से देखना, दिस इज ऑल्सो 3 रूट 2, दिस इज ऑल्सो 3 रूट 2, है ना, और 0,6 से भी 3 रूट 2 है कि नहीं, 0,6 भी ले लो, वो भी 3 रूट 2 देगा, ठीक है। एंड यू सी द डिस्टेंस ऑफ 33 एंड द ओरिजिन ऑल्सो, ओरिजिन से भी देखो द डिस्टेंस इज 3 रूट 2, माने 33 पॉइंट इज समवेयर ओवर हियर, 33 पॉइंट इज समवेयर ओवर हियर, जहां से ये जो है ना, दिस इज इक्विडिस्टेंट, हियर ऑल्सो दिस पॉइंट एंड दिस पॉइंट, ठीक है ना, 33 पॉइंट इज समवेयर ओवर हियर वेयर all these are equidistant, all these points are equidistant, 0,6, फिर 0 0, then 6, 0, these 3 points are equidistant from 3,3 point, ठीक है, चलेगा। तो जो सर्कल जो बनेगा ना, दैट सर्कल माने this circle will be somewhat like this, let me show with different color, this circle will be somewhat like this, ये बनेगा ऐसा कुछ सर्कल, दिस इज द सर्कल, ठीक है, हालांकि सर्कल लग नहीं रहा है प्री एंड डायग्राम में, this is the circle actually, fine, this is the circle, and if this is the circle, so look at this thing, if this is the circle, so this is the diameter actually, ये तो diameter है ना, this is the diameter of this red circle, fine, or can I say that this is only the common chord, you can clearly see this is only the common chord, this is itself the common chord, what they are asking for, the angle subtended at the origin by the common chord, तो common chord माने तो यही है, and here it is subtending an angle of 90 degree at the origin, तो कुछ करना ही नहीं था, खाली ठीक ठाक से डायग्राम ड्रॉ कर लो, you draw this diagram clearly, so we are done, so what is the answer, option A is correct। Okay, next we have the 9th question, which says that here we have a triangle ABC given, CD is the median, fine, CD, here we have CD to the median, and BE is the altitude perpendicular, now CD and BE are equal in length, okay, CD and BE are equal in length, fine, what is the value of ACD, okay, व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ ACD? तो ACD मान लेते हैं, ये वाला एंगल है ना ACD. व्हाट इज दिस? व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ दिस ACD दे आर आस्किंग फॉर? अच्छा, B जो है, B इज परपेंडिकुलर. BE इज परपेंडिकुलर फ्रॉम हियर ऑल्सो. वी हैव परपेंडिकुलर. ठीक है. AD एंड BD आर इक्वल इन लेंथ. तो सपोज इफ वी हैव द टोटल लेंथ इज A, टोटल लेंथ अगर A होता है तो दिस मच इज A/2 एंड हियर ऑल्सो वी हैव A/2. राइट, चलेगा. अच्छा, हैव अ लुक एट दिस ट्राइंगल ABE. हैव अ लुक एट दिस ट्राइंगल ABE. ठीक है. इन दिस ट्राइंगल ABE, ध्यान से अगर देखोगे, इन दिस ट्राइंगल ABE, इट्स अ राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल ना. ये तो एक राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल है. तो कैन आई से BE इज नथिंग बट A sin A? कैन आई से BE इज नथिंग बट A sin A? बोल सकते हैं ना. BE इज A sin A. ओके. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट व्हाट यू डू, नेक्स्ट यू सी इन ट्राइंगल ACD. फिर ACD में देखो, इन ट्राइंगल ACD, लुक एट दिस ट्राइंगल ACD. इन ट्राइंगल ACD इफ आई यूज साइन रूल, ध्यान से सोचना, this angle, we want this angle, this opposite side is known to us, right? Opposite side is known to us. Fine. ये CDB एक रेशियो कंपेयर कर लोगे, तो हम क्या करते हैं ना, विल ट्राई टू यूज साइन रूल ओवर हियर. ठीक है. सोचो, A/2 डिवाइडेड बाई साइन थीटा, A/2 डिवाइडेड बाई साइन थीटा इज इक्वल टू CD जो है, CD डिवाइडेड बाई साइन ए, ऑपोजिट एंगल का साइन, so sin of A. I'm using sine rule in triangles ACD. In triangle ACD, I'm using sine rule. ठीक है. अब आप बोलोगे सर फायदा क्या हुआ? देखो, थीटा मिल जाएगा. You will find theta from here. You will find theta from here. You simplify. So we have A/2 sin theta. Fine. And just now we have seen CD. CD is the same as BE. तो CD जो है वही तो BE है. क्वेश्चन में दिया गया है CD and BE are the same. So we have A sin A divided by sin A. Right? So sin A and sin A will cancel from both the sides. A and A will also cancel. So what is left out? Sin theta is half. So what is theta? Theta is pi/6. Fine. So option D is correct. Okay, the 10th problem. The 10th problem says, if the points Z1 and Z2 are on the circles mod Z is equal to 2 and mod Z is equal to 3 respectively, and the angle included between these vectors is 60 degrees. Okay. Then we have to find the value of this mod of Z1 plus Z2 divided by Z1 minus Z2. Fine. A very common type of question. We have done these type of questions during the lectures also, during geometry of complex numbers lectures. So we have mod of Z is equal to 2 is a circle. One circle is given. ठीक है ना, एक तो ये वाला सर्कल है और दूसरा एक सर्कल है. Mod of Z is 3. एक सर्कल वाला छोटा रेडियस है. One circle is having a smaller radius which is 2 and the second circle is having a bigger radius which is 3. So we have two circles having the concentric circles are there actually. ठीक है. So you can solve this in many ways. So what I do, I'll try to go by the simplest possible way. That is actually I'll take Z1 and Z2 in such a way. मैं काम कर लेता हूँ कि Z1 को यहाँ पे मान लेते हैं. सपोज I take Z1 over here. Okay. जो Z1 वेक्टर है ना, वो Z1 वेक्टर यहाँ पे मान लो. ये Z1 वेक्टर, ये Z1. And you take the Z2 vector over here. Z2 is over here. Somewhere here you take Z2. Because Z1 and Z2 are on the circles only. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे मान लेते हैं Z1. Anywhere on the circle you can take. So specifically I am taking here Z1 and here I am taking Z2. ठीक है. तो हम क्या करेंगे? And since they have given the angle included between these vectors is 60 degrees. So this angle is what? Pi/3 they have given. This angle is given to be pi/3. So what I can use? The concept of rotation. Simply I can use the concept of rotation. इसी को rotate मारा है तो Z2 divided by Z1 is equal to what? Mod of Z2 by mod of Z1, which is mod of Z2 is 3 divided by 2 into e raised to the power of I times of angle between them, which is pi by 3. ठीक है, so now we simplify this thing, simplify and find this ratio. ठीक है ना, so 3 by 2 times of what is this, cos pi by 3 plus I sin pi by 3, right? So here we have 3 by 2 times of half plus I root 3 by 2. So this is what we are having as Z2 upon Z1. ये Z2 upon Z1 वाला वैल्यू है, चलेगा? ठीक है, फर्दर यू कैन सिंप्लीफाई, लेट्स मल्टीप्लाई दिस थिंग, 3 by 4 ये बन जाएगा 3 by 4 प्लस 3 root 3 I 3 root 3 divided by 4. This is your Z2 by Z1. Now Z2 by Z1 is known to us, so we can figure out mod of what they have asked for, mod of Z1 plus Z2 divided by Z1 minus of Z2. This ratio is known to us Z2 by Z1. So what I can do, I divide by Z1. So here we have 1 upon 1 plus Z2 upon Z1. I'm purposely dividing by Z1 just to bring this ratio Z2 upon Z1. So 1 minus Z2 upon Z1. अब वैल्यू लेके डाल दो and simplify. So mod of 1 plus Z2 upon Z1, which is 3 by 4 plus I 3 root 3 by 4. And नीचे we are having 1 minus 3 by 4 minus of I 3 root 3 by 4. We simplify and find from here. अगर simplify करोगे so how much is this? So modulus of 7 by 4 plus I 3 root 3 divided by 4, and नीचे we are having 1 by 4 minus I root 3 divided by 4. That's what we are having. So how much is this? This 4 and 4 will cancel out, so we are left out with 7. So modulus of this thing, ये तो जानते हो ना, ये mod अगर लेते हो, once you take the full mod means you can take the individual mod, means mod of A by B is basically mod of A by mod of B. So we find the value of this thing. 4 and 4 will cancel out. So 7 mod of 7 plus I root 3. 3 root 3. So we have, how much is this? 49 root over of 49 plus 27 or divided by, ये क्या है? Root over of 1 plus 27. So 49 plus 27, which is root over of 76 divided by 28. So we have root over of 76 divided by 28. How much? This will go with 419. And here we have 7. So this will go with, answer is root over of 19 by 7. So option A is correct. Okay. A very straightforward question on complex number. We are using a bit of rotation concept. चलो आ जाओ next question. 11th one, which says that suppose n is greater than or equal to 1, we have to find the maximum possible number of primes in the set n plus 6, n plus 7, and so on, goes up till n plus 34 and n plus 35. We have to find the maximum possible number of primes over here. Okay. So suppose what I would have done is I would have taken some initial values and I would have simply counted this. कुछ values अगर ले लेते, count कर लेते, तो काम हो जाता. Suppose, for instance, I start by putting this thing. Let's say, for instance, I take the value of n to be 1. ठीक है. If you put the value of n to be 1, first of all, how many numbers are there? 6 till 35. मतलब how many numbers are there? Total 30 numbers are there. In this set, all total 30 numbers are there. ये याद रखो, ये ध्यान रखो कि total there are 30 numbers. ठीक है. अच्छा, if you put the value of n to be 1, so first number is what? 7. Next is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. लिख लेते, just to take the feel, लिख लेते 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and last this will go up till 35, है ना? Last this will go up till 35. लिख लेते हैं, फील ले लेते थोड़ा. 36 भी जाएगा ना? 36. n को 1 रखा है ना? तो how many primes are there first of all? How many primes are there? So we have 7. एक तो ये prime आ गया. Then we have 11. Then we have 13. Then we have 17. Then we have 19. Right? Then we have 23. Then we have 29. फिर 31 आ गया prime. बस इतना ही. So how many primes are there? Total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So total 8 primes are there actually. Total 8 primes are there. कुछ और चेक कर लेते हैं. जस्ट एक फील लेने के लिए, जस्ट एक फील लेने के लिए कुछ और भी चेक कर लो. ठीक है. सो फॉर n is 2, what will you get from here? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 और लास्ट में जाएगा 36 and 37. Again, how many primes are there? So we have 11, then we have 13, 17, फिर 19, ठीक है ना, 23, फिर 29, 31, बस इतना ही है. once again we are getting 8 primes in total. ठीक है. आगे भी अगर suppose you take the value of n to be 5, then also you will get 8 primes only. ठीक है. तो 8 कैन बी वन प्रोबेबल आंसर, लेकिन ये पक्का करना है. वी हैव टू मेक श्योर कि 8 इज द राइट आंसर. ठीक है. 8 मस्ट बी डेफिनेट. 8 इज द राइट आंसर, सो वी हैव टू मेक श्योर. ठीक है. अच्छा. सो व्हाट आई डू, थोड़ा मैनिपुलेटिव वे है. यू ऑल नो वन थिंग दैट एनी प्राइम ग्रेटर देन 2, एनी प्राइम ग्रेटर देन 2, एनी प्राइम ग्रेटर देन 2 can be of the form what? 6k plus minus 1. 6k plus 1 नहीं तो 6k minus 1. या आप लोग क्लास में सीखते हो ना नंबर थ्योरी में. एनी प्राइम ग्रेटर देन 2 इज ऑफ द फॉर्म 6k plus 1 और 6k minus 1. ठीक है. ये 6k plus 1 टाइप ऑफ नंबर्स आर व्हाट? 6k plus 1 टाइप ऑफ नंबर्स कौन से नंबर्स है? 7, 6 into 1 plus 1 7, then 6 into 2 plus 1 13, 6 into 3 plus 1 19. These are all 6k plus 1 type of numbers. And 6k minus 1 type of numbers, just some of the numbers. 6k minus 1 type of numbers are what? 5, है ना? फिर क्या आ रहा है? 5, फिर 11, 2 डालोगे, 6 into 2 minus 1, फिर 6 into 3 minus 1 17. So these are all of the form any prime greater than 2 can be represented either of the form 6k plus 1 or 6k minus 1. ठीक है. अच्छा. तो फर्स्ट प्राइम, द फर्स्ट लोएस्ट वन इज बीइंग स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम 5. लोएस्ट वन इज स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 5. 5 के बाद आ रहा है 7, है ना? द लोएस्ट वन इज स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 5. 5 के बाद आ रहा है 7, 2 के डिफरेंस में. आफ्टर 7 यू आर गेटिंग 11, वो 2 के डिफरेंस में. देन यू आर गेटिंग 4 का डिफरेंस, फिर से 2 का डिफरेंस, फिर 4 का डिफरेंस, फिर से 2 का डिफरेंस. ये कुछ पैटर्न यहाँ पे बन रहा है. मैंने सपोज बेसिकली इफ वी आर हैविंग द 6k, if p1 is of the form 6k, p1 is the prime number which is of the form 6k minus 1, then the next number is p2 which is of the form 6k plus 1. समझ पा रहे हो ना? p1 जो ये बनेगा, then p2 या फिर p3 बोल दो, p3 बोल दो, let's say p3. after the difference of 2, the third term is at a difference of 2, है ना? तो थर्ड टर्म ही बोल दो, p3 बोल दो. So that term is of the form 6k plus 1. Similarly, next term is the seventh term. Next term is the seventh term. मतलब क्या है ना, वो डिफरेंस ऑफ 4 पे है ना. P3 में 4 ऐड करोगे, then you will get P7. So P7, the next number P7 will be of the form 6k minus 1. The next prime number will be of the form 6k minus 1. तो P यहाँ पे लिखते हैं P7. Similarly, the next number will be of the form 6k plus 1. मतलब दो के डिफरेंस में, डिफरेंस ऑफ 2 माने P9. Similarly, P13, 4 ऐड करो P13, then we have P15. ठीक है. फिर P of 19, then P of 21 and so on. फिर क्या है, P of 25 है ना. 21 के बाद 25. Then next prime is what, P of 27. और फिर इसके बाद then we are having P of 31. यहां पे स्टॉप कर देंगे. We'll stop over here. We'll stop right over here because they are saying total how many numbers are there in the set. We are having 30 numbers. 30 members are there actually. 30 members are there. So here we are stopping. ठीक है. So how many total possible primes are there actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In each rows we are having 2 primes. So 5 times of 2, total 10 cases are there actually. Total 10 possibilities. Total 10 possibilities are there. So in the total of 30 primes, means 30 numbers, total 10, minimum 10 primes तो definitely you will get. ठीक है. 10 primes तो definitely you will get. ठीक है. अब 10 से ज्यादा हो नहीं सकता. This cannot be more than 10 because you are limited to 30 only, 30 terms. So definitely option B must be correct. क्योंकि 7 तो हो नहीं सकता because minimum for n is equal to 1 only. You have seen minimum 8 we are getting. Minimum 8 तो we are getting. For n is equal to 1, for n is equal to 2 also. Minimum 8 तो we are getting. 10 के beyond तो हो नहीं सकता. 8 के नीचे तो हो नहीं सकता. So only possibility is what? 8 only. ठीक है. So C and D is wrong. A is also wrong. So definitely option B must be correct. ठीक है ना. Okay, so we move on to the next question. Suppose 40 distinguishable balls are to be distributed into 4 different boxes such that each box gets exactly 10 balls. Out of these 40 balls, 10 are defective and 30 are non-defective. In how many ways can the balls be distributed such that all the defective balls goes to the first 2 boxes? So first of all, we are having 4 different boxes. Okay, so total 4 different boxes. 4 different boxes are there actually. नाम देते थे B1 box B1, B2, B3 and B4. Let's say 4 different boxes are there and 40 distinct balls are there actually. They have to be distributed in the 4 different boxes such that each box gets exactly 10 balls. Each box will get exactly 10 balls. Okay. Out of these 40 balls, 10 are defective, 10 are defective, and 30 are non-defective. Fine. 10 are defective and 30 are non-defective. ठीक है. तो हमें क्या करना है? We have to find the number of ways we can distribute the balls such that all the defective balls will go to the first 2 boxes. मतलब B1, B2 only. The defective balls will go to the first 2 boxes. So the defective balls will either go in the B1 and B2, and the remaining distribution will be based on the 30 non-defective balls. The 10 balls, first of all, the defective balls, these 10 defective balls will go in the first 2 boxes B1 and B2. जो remaining बचेगा, remaining distribution will be based on the 30 non-defective balls. ठीक है. So B1 and B2, first of all, B1 and B2 for the first 2 boxes, defective balls बोला है ना. All the defective balls goes to the first 2 boxes. हाँ, हम क्या करते हैं ना, first let us send the first 10 defective balls in B1 and B2 and 10 non-defective balls. ठीक है, first we are sending in B1 and B2. Let us send the first 10 defective balls and 10 non-defective balls. ठीक है, first we send the 10 defective balls and the 10 non-defective balls. Okay, now the 10 defective balls should have gone and the remaining 10 non-defective is also going. ठीक है, मतलब total 20 balls we are sending over there. समझ पा रहे हो ना, total 20 balls we are sending there in B1 and B2. तो हम क्या करते हैं पहले, since we are sending 10 balls, 10 defective and 10 non-defective, what I do, first I do a selection of 10 balls out of the 30 non-defective balls. Since we are sending 10 non-defective balls, so first what I do is I select 30 balls, 10 balls out of the 30 non-defective balls. ये हमने सिलेक्शन कर लिया. ठीक है, so after doing this selection, next what we are doing is we are sending total 20 balls, है ना. 20 balls is being kind of, we are distributing 20 balls into two groups of equal sizes of 10-10 each. समझ पा रहे हो ना, 10-10 each, 10 defective 10 non defective ऐसे करके. ठीक है, so 20 balls are being distributed into two boxes of equal sizes, 10-10 each. So 20 factorial divided by what, 10 factorial into 10 factorial, because 20 ball, it's kind of this thing, 20 groups, sorry, 20 yeah, 20 20 balls are being distributed into two groups of equal sizes, 10-10 each. ठीक है, so this can be done in how many ways, 20 factorial divided by 10 factorial into 10 factorial, and because the two groups are having equal sizes, so multiplied by 2. ठीक है, और फिर into multiplied by, we are distributing into two groups ना, two boxes basically. ये क्या है, ये हमने डिवीजन कर लिया, फिर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन भी तो हो रहा है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ ग्रुप्स इनटू टू बॉक्सेस, तो वो फिर बॉक्स भी काउंट होगा, सो मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2. ठीक है, सो दिस 2 and 2 विल कैंसिल आउट, दिस मच इज रिमेनिंग. यहां तक हमने कर लिया. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट इज, so now 20 non-defective balls are remaining. Now 20 non-defective balls are remaining, which needs to be distributed into two groups and further into the remaining two boxes, मतलब B3 and B4. Fine. Further in B3 and B4, 20 non-defective balls are remaining, which needs to be distributed into two groups, मतलब further into two boxes, B3 and B4 समझ लो, which can be done in how many ways, 20 factorial, remaining are what, 20, अरे 40 में 20 बचेगा ना, 20 remaining are what, 20, वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाएगा, तो 20 factorial divided by 10 factorial further into 10 factorial, और फिर into 2 similarly into 2, सेम लॉजिक से, सेम काइंड ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. ठीक है, ये B3 और B4 में हो रहा है. So what is done basically, so here we have 30C10, so which is 30 factorial and divided by 20 factorial into 10 factorial, and from here we simplify, so we have 20 factorial divided by 10 factorial into 10 factorial, and here also we are having 20 factorial divided by 10 factorial and 10 factorial. ठीक है, so how many 10 factorials are there, so we have this 20 factorial and 20 factorial will cancel out, so 1 2 3 4 5, so in total you will have the answer to be 30 factorial divided by 30 factorial multiplied by 20 factorial divided by 10 factorial raised to the power of 5, 10 factorial raised to the power of 5. है क्या कोई सम ऑप्शन, 30 factorial into 20 factorial, हाँ, divided by 10 factorial whole to the power of 5, so option B must be correct. ठीक है ना, this was also a bit of tricky question, just you have to understand this distribution. हाँ, क्वेश्चन वही डिवीजन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वाला. ठीक है, थोड़ा ट्रिकी है. 13 question. This one is also a very nice question. The number of elements in the set X such that X is lying in between 2 and 0 and 2. So we have some restriction given, and we have this equation given to be mod of X minus X to the power of 5 is equal to mod of X to the power of 5 minus X to the power of 6. Okay. So both the sides we are having modulus. So you know that whenever both the sides we have modulus, you just need to open up on one side only. जब भी whenever we are having this thing, mod of A is equal to mod of B, you just simply open up on one side. एक ही side में खोलना है आपको. So we have only two cases. So one case is what? X minus X to the power of 5 is equal to X to the power of 5 minus of X to the power of 6. And second case will be what? Second case is X minus X to the power of 5 is basically X to the power of 6 minus X to the power of 5. So two cases will be there. Plus minus से अगर खोलोगे तो ठीक है. Second case is pretty simple. So X to the power of 5 will cancel from both the sides. So you're left out with this thing only. X minus X to the power of 6 is equal to 0. यहाँ से X common ले लो. X minus, sorry, 1 minus X to the power of 5 is equal to 0. So X is 0 and X to the power of 5 is 1. मतलब क्या है कि X is 1. ठीक है. X is real number. X is lying in between 0 and 2. So from here we are getting two solutions. X is 0 and X is 1. चलेगा. X is 0 and X is 1. Now we study the left hand side function. Left hand side, what is it? We are having X minus X to the power of 5 and X to the power of 5 minus X to the power of 6. If you simplify this a bit, so here we are having X to the power of 6 minus of 2 times X to the power of 5. ठीक है, and plus X is equal to 0. So again you take out X common from here, so we are having X to the power of 5 minus 2 times of X to the power of 4, either plus 1 is equal to 0. So one of the value of X is equal to 0. So that we have got from here only. X is 0 we have got from the second case itself. Or X to the power of 5 minus 2 times X to the power of 4 plus 1 is equal to 0. चलेगा. अब जो भी solution आएगा यहां से आएगा. From here you will get the solution. Now this is not easy to solve because the degree is 5. ठीक है. So what will I do is we'll check the nature of this function. We'll check the nature of this function. मान लो suppose ये function X to the power of 5 minus 2 times X to the power of 4 plus 1 is equal to 0. ठीक है. What we will do, we will study the nature of this function. These type of questions are taught in application of derivative section itself. ठीक है. Nature माने क्या करना है? We have to study the derivative. So we find f dash of x, which is 5x to the power of 4 minus 8x cube. ये चीज आ रहा है. So x common, x cube common. So here we are having 5x minus 8. ठीक है. So on the number line, we are having the critical points are what? 0. एक तो 0 आएगा and 8/5 आएगा, है ना? 0 and 8/5. Also 0 is our restriction. 0 to 2, our restriction is given from 0 to 2. Question में the restriction is given from 0 to 2. ठीक है ना? तो 0 and 2 is our bounds. ग्राफ इसके बियॉन्ड तो जाएगा नहीं. 0 के बियॉन्ड या फिर 2 के बियॉन्ड जाएगा नहीं ग्राफ. क्लियर है? रफली देखेंगे. इफ यू जस्ट चेक द साइन चेंज तो क्या होगा? हियर वी हैव प्लस एंड माइनस. प्लस है, ये माइनस है. तो पक्का से देखो माइनस से प्लस हो रहा है ना. इट्स गोइंग फ्रॉम नेगेटिव टू पॉजिटिव. सो डेफिनेटली हियर वी आर हैविंग अ मिनिमा. एट 8/5 डेफिनेटली वी विल हैव अ मिनिमा. इतना समझ लो. एट 8/5 डेफिनेटली वी विल हैव अ मिनिमा. ठीक है. अच्छा, whether 8/5 is negative or positive, this we need to figure out. Whether the function value at 8/5 is negative or positive, this we need to figure out. So we need to just manipulate this a bit. ठीक है, थोड़ा manipulation से देखेंगे. अच्छा, एक सेकंड के लिए फंक्शन वैल्यू भी चेक कर लो at 0. What is f of 0? F of 0 is basically 0 0 and we have 1. F of 0 is 1, है ना? कुछ और सिंपलेस्ट वैल्यू देख लेते हैं, सपोज एफ ऑफ वन भी देख लेते हैं. We see some more simplest value, f of 1 also. F of 1 is, here we are having 1 minus of 2 plus 1. So which is minus 1 plus 1, which is 0. F of 1 is 0. F of 1 is 0. 8 by 5 is 1.6. So in this case, you are clearly seeing that f of 1 is 0. मतलब 1 पे तो definitely the graph will pass through. एक तो 1 पे definitely the graph will pass through. f of 0 पे 1 हो रहा है ना, f of 0 पे तो 1 हो रहा है, तो ग्राफ ऐसा कुछ जाएगा, क्योंकि इन दिस इंटरवल यू आर सीइंग द ग्राफ इज डिक्रीजिंग, नेगेटिव है, dy dx इज नेगेटिव, सो इन दिस इंटरवल द ग्राफ इज डिक्रीजिंग, इन दिस इंटरवल द ग्राफ इज डिक्रीजिंग समथिंग लाइक दिस. ठीक है, और यहाँ पे डेफिनेटली अ रूट विल एग्जिस्ट, और पक्का से f ऑफ 8/5 तो नेगेटिव आएगा. फिर भी चेक कर लेते हैं f ऑफ 8/5, व्हाट इज f ऑफ 8/5. ठीक है, इट्स नॉट इजी टास्क टू फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ दिस फंक्शन वैल्यू, क्योंकि यहाँ पे पावर काफी ज्यादा है. फिर भी चेक कर लेते हैं. 8/5 होल टू द पावर ऑफ 5 माइनस ऑफ 2 टाइम्स ऑफ 8/5 होल टू द पावर ऑफ 4 प्लस 1. ठीक है, मैनिपुलेशन करेंगे. लाइकवाइज फ्रॉम हियर आई कैन टेक आउट 8/5 होल टू द पावर ऑफ 4 कॉमन, सो वी आर हैविंग 8/5 माइनस ऑफ 2 प्लस 1. तो ये कितना आ रहा है, हाउ मच इज दिस, 8/5 होल टू द पावर ऑफ 4 multiplied by this is basically how much, minus of 2/5, है ना, minus of 2/5 plus 1. तो डेफिनेटली दिस इज नेगेटिव, ये तो समझ लो, ये तो नेगेटिव ही होगा, ये तो पक्का से नेगेटिव ही होगा, ऑब्वियस रीजंस. 8/5 होल टू द पावर ऑफ 4 डिवाइडेड बाई 5 multiplied by, it's basically 1.6 whole to the power of 4, right, multiplied by some negative quantity 0 point something. तो पक्का से ये तो मतलब 1 से तो ज्यादा ही होगा ना, दिस इज मोर देन 1, है ना, नेगेटिव ऑफ 2/5 प्लस 1, डेफिनेटली दिस इज मोर देन 1. ठीक है, और सामने नेगेटिव है, तो नेगेटिव क्वांटिटी बिगर सम नेगेटिव क्वांटिटी प्लस 1. ठीक है, तो ये तो नेगेटिव तो होगा ही. f of 8/5 is definitely negative. f of 8/5 is definitely negative. So graph to definitely will go in this way. Graph will definitely go in this way. Here function value will be negative. Graph will definitely go in this way. Also, if you see in this interval, ध्यान से देखना. Also, if you see in this interval, ध्यान से अगर देखोगे, if you see in this interval 8/5 and 2, if you see in this interval 8/5 and 2, ठीक है, f of 8/5 is negative. What is f of 2? चेक करो, साइन चेक करोगे. What is f of 2? 2 to the power of 5, 32. कितना आ रहा है, 32, और यहां पे कितना आ रहा है, माइनस ऑफ 32 प्लस 1. So 32 cancels, we are left out with plus 1, माने ये तो पॉजिटिव आ रहा है. So in this interval 8/5 and 2, f of 8/5 is less than 0 and f of 2 is more than 0. So in this range 8/5 and 2, definitely there exists at least one root. यहां पे at least one root तो definitely मिलेगा, and f of 2 is 1, function value is 1, which is the same as f of 0. ठीक है, तो definitely by intermediate value theorem we can say in this interval definitely there will be one root. यहां पे एक रूट तो डेफिनेटली मिलेगा, एंड बिकॉज द फंक्शन इज इंक्रीजिंग, तो एग्जैक्टली वन रूट विल बी देयर. सो इन दिस इंटरवल 0 to 8/5, one root we are getting from here. In this interval 0 to 8/5, one root we are getting from here, which is f of 0, which is 1. एक तो आ रहा है यहां से, ठीक है ना, सॉरी f of 1, 1 पे तो आ रहा है, 1 पे 0 आ रहा है फंक्शन वैल्यू, तो डेफिनेटली वन रूट फ्रॉम हियर. And x is equal to 1, so already we have taken over here itself. X is equal to 1. ठीक है, and one more solution we are getting from here, ये वाला solution, ये वाला point. One more solution we are getting from here, ये वाला point. So how many solutions are there in total? ये जो भी हो जाए, how many solutions in total? 3 solutions. X is 0, 1 And then we have one more solution from here. One to one nahi le lena, because many students have done this thing. They didn't notice this thing. Notice the function value of this. यहाँ पे भी तो 1 दे रहा है, 0 दे रहा है. F of 1 is 0. This is 1 actually. तो आंसर 4 नहीं होगा, 3 होगा. So total 3 solutions are there. In this interval 0 to 2, we are having 3 solutions. Okay. The next question says, in a room of n greater than or equal to 2 people, each pair shakes hands between themselves with probability 2 by n square and independently of other pairs. If Pn is the probability that the total number of handshakes is at most 1, then we have to find this limit. This is a very good question. ठीक है. अच्छा, ध्यान से देखो. For each pairs, first of all, can I say for each pairs, ठीक है, एक जो room है, total in this room we are having n people and where n is greater than or equal to 2. So each pairs are there na? So each pairs are shaking hands between themselves. So for each pairs, can we say that for each pairs, अगर मान लो suppose n pair होता है, तो in total number of ways to form the pairs, यहाँ पे total number of ways, total ways to form the pairs, the total ways to form the pairs, can I say, is basically nc2 out of for n pairs we are having 2 people, so total ways to form the pairs, but the pairs bana lo, nc2 ways we can form the pairs, so which is n into n minus 1 divided by 2. ठीक है. And suppose ये k मान लेते हैं total. This is actually the total number of pairs actually. ये total number of pairs है. ठीक है. Total possibilities. What they're asking for, Pn be the probability that the total number of handshakes is at most 1. ठीक है. अच्छा, something else is given. क्या दिया गया ना वो, each pair shakes hands between themselves with probability 2 by n square and independently of other pairs. So those are kind of independent events we are having. So probability of handshake is given to be 2 by n square. है ना? P of handshakes, short में लिखते हैं, P of handshakes is given to be 2 by n square. Probability of handshake वाला is given to be 2 by n square. And let's say this is the probability of the success, जो कि handshake होता है. So P of no handshake will be what? P of no handshakes, probability that there is no handshake at all is what? 1 minus 2 upon n square, the failure. Success को दिया जाएगा P and failure is given by Q, let's say. Fine. What they are asking for, Pn is the probability that the total number of handshakes is at most 1. Can I say that they are asking for the probability that at most 1 means Px less than or equal to 1? And what is the formula for this? Kc0. Kc0, because the total number of ways is what? Here n is the k, n is the same as k. It's basically nc0 times of q raised to the power of n. So here we have kc0 into q raised to the power of k, okay, plus kc1 times of q raised to the power of k minus 1 into p, the success, probability of the success. So kc0 is what? This is only your Pn. So Pn is kc0 is 1 into q raised to the power of k. Now q is what? 1 minus 2 upon n square whole to the power of k. K means n into n minus 1. So n square minus n by 2. Fine. And lastly, we are having k. Kc1 is k only. So k is what? N into n minus 1 by 2 into q. Q is 1 minus 2 upon n square whole to the power of k minus 1. K minus 1 means n square minus n divided by 2 minus 1. That is n square minus n minus 2 divided by 2 and then multiplied by 2 by n square. The value of p is what? 2 by n square. Fine. So one of the n is definitely getting cancelled from here. We can clearly see one of the n is getting cancelled. 2 and 2 also gets cancelled over here. Right? We have to find limit n tends to infinity. So we take limit on both the sides. we have to find limit n tends to infinity. So we take limit on both the sides. Here only I'm taking the limit. So limit n tends to infinity. And here also limit n tends to infinity. Okay, I'm distributing the limit. Now this is easy, limit n tends to infinity fx raised to the power of gx form. There's a direct formula for this, right? So I hope you all know this thing. क्या होता है gx into e raised to the power of limit n tends to infinity. क्या होगा gx into fx minus 1. जानते हो ना? E raised to the power of limit n tends to infinity. This will become n square minus 1. This will come down n square minus n divided by 2 multiplied by uh, this plus this minus 1 will give you minus 2 upon n square. And plus we are left out with limit n tends to infinity. Similarly, here also we'll distribute the limit n tends to infinity. We are having n into n minus 1 divided by n. N minus 1 divided by n we are having. And then limit n tends to infinity. 1 minus 2 by n square whole to the power of n square minus n minus 2 divided by 2. Again, we simplify this thing. Now this will become 1 because once you divide this thing, this quantity will become what? 1 minus 1 by n. And once you put the limit, this will become 1. So this value will become 1. So 1 multiplied by, we simplify this thing. What is this quantity? ये कितना होगा? How much is this quantity? ये similarly we have to simplify. How much is this? So we have e raised to the power of limit n tends to infinity. And this will become n square minus n minus 2 divided by 2 multiplied by this minus 1. So we have 2 upon n square. Again, 2 and 2 will cancel from here. We are left out with this limit. ठीक है? तो one by one, let's solve this thing. So we have this limit. यहाँ पर भी 2 and 2 is getting cancelled. So we are having n square minus n divided by n square. You divide this thing. So we have 1 minus 1 by n. So 1 minus 1 by n mane 1 only. So we have e raised to the power of minus 1 plus what we get from this part. N square minus n minus 2 divided by n square. So once you divide this thing, so we have 1 minus 1 by n minus 2 by n square. Put the limit, this will become e raised to the power of minus 1 once again. There is one more negative sign, I think. We have missed out. There is a negative sign. This is minus 2 by n square. There was a negative sign. This was minus 2 by n square. So minus of 2 by n square. ठीक है ना? यहाँ पे एक negative sign होगा. So we have e raised to the power of minus 1, and from here also you will get e raised to the power of 1. Once you solve this limit, you divide this thing n square by n square. जो मैंने बोला n square by n square, 1 minus 1 by n minus 2 by n square. Put the limits. So 1 minus 0 minus 0, so which is 1 only. ठीक है? And here we have a negative, so we have e raised to the power of minus 1. So e raised to the power of minus 1 plus e raised to the power of minus 1, which is 2 times e raised to the power of minus 1. So option D is correct. 15th one is saying the number of positive solutions to this equation e raised to the power of sin x, e raised to the power of x into sin x, which is equal to log x plus e raised to the power of root x plus 2. Now this was a difficult question. ठीक है, थोड़ा ध्यान से देखना यहाँ पे. Nothing, we'll try to manipulate this and solve. Like e raised to the power of sin x is there. E raised to the power of sin x is something, the graph of e raised to the power of sin x will be something like this, because sin x lies in between minus 1 and 1, right? Sin x lies in between minus 1 and 1. So graph of e raised to the power of sin x will oscillate in between e raised to the power of x and e raised to the power of minus x. Something like this. ठीक है ना? The graph will oscillate like this. ऐसे करके जाएगा ग्राफ. Sin x lies in between minus 1 and 1. So e raised to the power of sin x will lie in between minus e raised to the power of x and e raised to the power of x. ठीक है? अच्छा. Let us study the behavior of this function, the right hand side function. fx is log x plus e raised to the power of root x plus 2. ठीक है? अब ये डोमेन तो पॉजिटिव ही आएगा, since we are having log x and root over of x over here. Domain is positive quantity. ठीक है, तो if you study the behavior of this function, so we are having 1 by x plus e raised to the power of root x divided by 2 root x. This is always positive for the given domain. For the given domain, this is always increasing function. मतलब f dash of x is greater than 0 मतलब क्या है, f is increasing. ठीक है, तो पक्का से this will be some increasing function. अच्छा, 0 पे तो अनडिफाइंड है, 0 पे अनडिफाइंड है बिकॉज log 0 is undefined. लेकिन 0 प्लस पे अगर देखा जाए ना, 0 just something more than 0, something more than 0. So 0 plus पे this will go till minus infinity. 0 plus पे this will go till minus infinity. तो graph will definitely start from this. Graph will definitely start from here and the graph will increase further. लेकिन एक और चीज देख लो यहाँ पे, let us see some more observations. So we are having e raised to the power of x and e raised to the power of root x. So you see for very large values, e raised to the power of x, e raised to the power of x divided by 2 is greater than e raised to the power of root x for very large values of x. In fact, for very large values, e raised to the power of x is also greater than e raised to the power of root x. Okay, you take very large values, 1 lakh and all, 1 lakh, 10 lakh. You take for very large values, e raised to the power of x is always greater than e raised to the power of root x. So e raised to the power of x divided by 2 is also greater than e raised to the power of root x. ठीक है, and also we are having one more inequality कि e raised to the power of x divided by 2 is greater than x and greater than log x as well. भाई 2 अगर हटा दोगे, ये तो होता ही है, e raised to the power of x is greater than x is greater than log x ग्राफ से. So e raised to the power of x divided by 2 is also greater than x is greater than log x. So can I say e raised to the power of x divided by 2 is also greater than log x? ये तो होगा ही. ठीक है, so e raised to the power of x by 2 is greater than log x, so as e raised to the power of x by 2 is greater than log x plus 2 also. So log x plus 2 is basically we are shifting the graph of log x by 2 units up. ठीक है, even e raised to the power of x is also greater than log x plus 2. ठीक है, log x plus 2 माने हमने सिर्फ क्या किया है ना, e raised to the power of x is constantly positive and it is increasing, and log x plus 2 means हमने वो ग्राफ जो लिया है log x plus 2 is shifted upward by 2 units. Still e raised to the power of x will be more than log x plus 2. So e raised to the power of x by 2 is also more than log x plus 2. ठीक है ना. So what I do, I add these two inequalities. इन दोनों को अगर ऐड किया जाए ना, तो something like this you will be getting e raised to the power of x is greater than log x plus e raised to the power of root x plus 2. Something like this you will be getting. ठीक है ना, something like this you will be getting. तो e raised to the power of x, अभी क्या है ना, e raised to the power of x, हमें ये पता चल गया कि e raised to the power of graph of e raised to the power of x is more than graph of e raised to the power of x which will go in this way. ठीक है ना, ऐसे ऐसे जाएगा. likewise graph of e raised to the power of x is this only. ठीक है, so this is actually more than the graph of log x plus e raised to the power of root x plus 2. ठीक है, and also we have studied कि ये जो फंक्शन है ना, this function is completely an increasing function starting rising from minus infinity. तो increasing function है, और यहाँ पे अगर e raised to the power of x is greater than log x अगर होता है, log x plus e raised to the power of root x plus 2, this was the main thing. This kind of this type of calculation will be difficult during the exam at least. ठीक है, ये जो लाना, this kind of derivation is difficult. तो e raised to the power of x is greater than log x plus e raised to the power of root x plus 2, मतलब ये जो ग्राफ जाएगा कुछ ऐसे जाएगा because it is more. ठीक है ना, वो कुछ नीचे से जाएगा ऐसे. ये वाला जो पार्ट है ना, दिस पार्ट, द ग्राफ ऑफ दिस मच पार्ट, वो कुछ ऐसे जाएगा नीचे से, बिकॉज जस्ट नाउ वी हैव स्टडीड कि ये जो ग्राफ है ये क्या है, इंक्रीजिंग है. ये जो ग्राफ है ना, ये जो ग्राफ जस्ट नाउ वी हैव स्टडीड कि ये जो ग्राफ है ये ग्राफ इंक्रीजिंग है, तो पक्का से ग्राफ विल बी गोइंग इन दिस वे, राइजिंग फ्रॉम माइनस इंफिनिटी एंड द ग्राफ विल गो इन दिस वे. ठीक है, ऐसे ऐसे जाएगा, ऐसे जाएगा शायद, and this will go and this will keep on giving solution because e raised to the power of x will keep on increasing, और ये फंक्शन भी ऑक्सीलेट होता हुआ जाएगा, and likewise you will be getting many such solutions. You will be getting many such solutions. ठीक है, ऐसे आपको सॉल्यूशन मिलते ही जाएंगे. So you will be getting many such solutions. So answer is actually infinity. Option D is correct. Answer is infinity. ठीक है, तो ये क्वेश्चन थोड़ा मुश्किल था. दिस क्वेश्चन वाज डिफिकल्ट. ठीक है, स्टडिंग द नेचर यू कैन डू, बट ब्रिंगिंग दिस इनइक्वालिटी इज काइंड ऑफ डिफिकल्ट. These kind of inequalities are taught in monotonicity also, chapter of monotonicity. ठीक है, तो ये थोड़ा टाइम कंज्यूमिंग एंड ऑल्सो दिस वाज डिफिकल्ट. ठीक है, अच्छा नेक्स्ट. Okay, next we are having the 16th question, which says that let n greater than 1 be the smallest composite integer that is co-prime to 10,000 factorial divided by 9,900 factorial. Okay, so we are having something 10,000 factorial, 10,000 factorial divided by 9,900 factorial. Okay, so can I say this thing? Can I simplify this and write this as 900 and 9,901, 9902, 9903 and so on. अगर सिंप्लीफाई किया जाए तो यही तो आएगा. This will go up till how much? 10,000 है कि नहीं? This will go up till 10,000 है ना. अच्छा, so how many total numbers are there actually? Total there are 100 numbers starting from 9,901 and it's going till 10,000. So it's the product of 100 consecutive numbers. The product of 100 consecutive numbers. ठीक है, product of 100 numbers. सोचते क्या करेंगे. It is a product of 100 consecutive numbers. तो इतना तो पक्का है कि this product is definitely divisible by all the prime numbers like 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7 and so on up till 100 में से in between 1 and 100 all the prime numbers you consider 3, 5, 7, 97 ये सबसे तो divisible होगा ही. All primes you consider. ठीक है, तो all these numbers कोई ना कोई एक नंबर, any number will be divisible by this prime. कोई ना कोई नंबर तो होगा जो कि ये जो सारे जो प्राइम्स है इससे डिविजिबल हो जाएगा. ठीक है ना, डेफिनेटली दिस मस्ट बी डिविजिबल बाय ऑल द प्राइम्स 3, 5, 7 एंड सो ऑन टिल 97. इसके आगे देखते हैं फिर. ठीक है ना, विल थिंक इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू प्राइम्स. विल थिंक इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू प्राइम्स. यही तो पूछा है कि एन विल थिंक ऑफ एन इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू प्राइम्स. यही सोचेंगे. दिस विल बी द लॉजिक. अच्छा, द नंबर मस्ट बी, सोचो द नंबर मस्ट बी मिनिमम 101. जो n होगा ना, द स्मॉलेस्ट कॉम्पोजिट नंबर n, मिनिमम अगर 101 भी लिया जाए. सोचते हैं इफ आई टेक द 101 ऑल्सो. ठीक है, 101 या फिर 103 आगे अगर जाओगे. सो सपोज इफ आई टेक 101 ऑल्सो. ठीक है, फॉर 101 ये भी नहीं होगा क्योंकि 999 इज डिविजिबल बाय 101. 9999 इज डिविजिबल बाय 101. सो 101 इज ऑल्सो नॉट पॉसिबल. उससे भी डिविजिबल हो जाएगा. 103 से होगा, 103 भी हो जाएगा क्योंकि 9991 103 भी हो जाएगा. 103 is also not possible. 103 is a prime number, but 9991 I think is divisible. 9991 9991 is divisible by 103. उससे भी जाएगा नहीं. ठीक है, उससे तो जाएगा नहीं. समझ पा रहे हो ना. तो आउट ऑफ दीज 3, 5, 7 and 97 until 103 this is not co-prime to this. तो इतना तो पक्का है कि अगर प्रोडक्ट ऑफ प्राइम्स का अगर सोचा जाए, if you think in terms of the product of the primes, n is basically p1 times of p2. N is p1 times of p2. If you think of the product of primes, तो पक्का से p1 must be definitely greater than 100. ये तो समझ लो. p1 must be definitely greater than 100. These two numbers. Think in terms of the product of two primes. So we have p1 must be definitely greater than 100. p2 must be also definitely greater than 100. तो पक्का से n must be definitely greater than 10,000. ये तो पक्का है. n must be definitely greater than 10,000. जो n है मिनिमम जो स्मॉलेस्ट कॉम्पोजिट इंटीजर आएगा वो n डेफिनेटली मस्ट बी ग्रेटर देन 10,000. ऑप्शन डी इज करेक्ट. ठीक है, Let's move to the next one. So P set is given x plus 1 greater than or equals to y, xy such that x plus 1 greater than or equals to y. Once again, we are having x is greater than or equals to -1 and y is greater than or equals to 2x. This is a very simple question. We have to find the minimum value of x plus y. ठीक है, ये कंडीशन कुछ दिया है, वी हैव टू फाइंड द मिनिमम वैल्यू ऑफ एक्स प्लस वाई. ठीक है ना, ये एलपीवी वाला क्वेश्चन हो गया. ऑब्जेक्टिव फंक्शन इज गिवन, ग्राफ प्लॉट कर लो, हो जाएगा बस. सिंपली प्लॉट द ग्राफ ठीक ठाक से. सिंपली प्लॉट द ग्राफ. सो वी आर हैविंग x plus 1 ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल्स टू y. तो y इज इक्वल टू x plus 1 लाइन विल बी समथिंग लाइक दिस. ये होगा y इज इक्वल टू x plus 1. ठीक है ना, दिस इज द ग्राफ ऑफ y इज इक्वल टू x plus 1. अब बोल रहा है कि y इज लेस देन और इक्वल्स टू x plus 1, माने इस तरफ, this way. Y is less than or equals to x plus 1 means this side, downwards. Okay. And we are having x is greater than or equals to -1. Okay, so x is -1 means here. ये -1 है ना, -1, 0. This point is -1, 0. So x is equal to -1 माने ये लाइन है, ये लाइन है, x is equal to -1. Fine. And finally, we are having y is greater than or equals to 2x. So y is equal to 2x is something like this. This is y is equal to 2x. ठीक है. अच्छा, यहां पे बोल रहा था x is greater than or equals to -1 माने this side, and यहां पे बोल रहा था कि y is greater than or equals to 2x means this side. ठीक है, y is more than 2x, so this side. ये है y is equal to 2x. So y is greater than or equals to 2x means this side. Fine. So our concern region is this. This is our concern region. This is our concern region. ठीक है ना, ये होगा concern region. तो for objective function we have to find the minimum value of x plus y. So minimum value of x plus y जो है ना, the minimum value of x and y will be located at the end points only. यही होता है LPP वाला concept. The minimum value of x plus y is located at the end points. यहीं पे आपको मिनिमम वैल्यूज मिलेंगे. अगर मिलेगा, मिनिमम वैल्यूज अगर आएगा तो मिनिमम वैल्यूज विल बी फाउंड एट दीस 3 पॉइंट्स ओनली, एट द एंड पॉइंट्स. तो यहाँ पे चेक कर लो, दिस पॉइंट इज व्हाट 1, 1. दिस पॉइंट इज व्हाट 1, -1, -2. राइट, -1, -2. So by logic of LPP, the minimum values will be at these 3 points only. So you just check the minimum value, just check the values actually. So whichever is minimum, we'll consider that. What are the points? 1, 1 is there. Then -1, 0 is there. And then we are having -1, -2. तो पक्का से यही पे आएगा मिनिमम वैल्यू, -1, -2, है ना. So x plus y is what? X plus y is -1, -2, which is -3. So minimum value is what? Option B. -3 is correct. Okay, next we move on to the next question, that is saying, let A be the set. We are having 5 members, B is having 10 members. The number of ordered pairs fg of the functions f such that f is defined from A to B, f is defined from A to B, g is defined from B to A, satisfying g of f of A, g of f of A is equal to A for all A belongs to A is what? Okay, ये counting the function वाला question है. ठीक है, so you have certain conditions like f is going from A to B, g is going from B to A, and f of g of A, sorry, g of f of A is A basically. Okay, तो बना लेते हैं. Suppose we have the mappings here. ठीक है, in the first set A is there, set B is there. ठीक है, f is defined from A to B, g is defined from B to A. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 members are there. In B we have 10 members. ठीक है ना. अच्छा, ये ध्यान रखना कि g of f of A is such a number such that g of f of A means you take any number let's say if f of a is 2, let's say if f of 1 is 2, ठीक है, तो g of f of 1 बोल रहा है कि g of f of 1 विल बी एक्चुअली 1, मतलब g of 2 आएगा 1, यही चीज बोल रहा है, ठीक है ना, ये तो समझ पा रहे हो। तो क्या करेंगे ना, फर्स्ट लेट अस पिक फर्स्ट 5 numbers which will be linked, which will be mapped, ठीक है ना। लेट अस फर्स्ट पहले ये वाला मैपिंग कर लेते हैं कि ए टू बी वाला मैपिंग कर लेते हैं, ठीक है। फर्स्ट वी फॉर्म द एफ फंक्शन, एफ फंक्शन वाला मैपिंग कर लेते हैं। वी पिक द फर्स्ट 5 numbers, द 5 numbers आर लिंक टू द फर्स्ट 5 numbers, सपोज यहां से यहां तक, ठीक है। फर्स्ट 5 numbers आर देयर एंड फर्स्ट 5 numbers जस्ट टू मेक द फंक्शन, कि इस फंक्शन के लिए हम क्या कर लेते हैं, फर्स्ट मैपिंग कर लेते हैं यहाँ पे। फर्स्ट टू लेट्स फर्स्ट फाइंड द वेज टू फॉर्म द एफ फंक्शन, ठीक है। तो हम क्या करेंगे ना, आउट ऑफ दीज 10 मेंबर्स लेट अस सिलेक्ट 5 फर्स्ट, 10C5, कोई भी 5 सिलेक्ट कर लो, कोई भी 5 सिलेक्ट कर लो, ठीक है। लेट्स से द फर्स्ट 5, ठीक है। एंड those 5 members itself, the 5 members can be arranged among themselves so into 5 factorial. These are the number of ways we can find the f function. These are the number of ways we can form the f function. Now after f is created, समझ लो, for g some elements are fixed now, g के लिए some of the elements are fixed now, सोच लो, means what I'm trying to say, मान लो सपोज ये वाला मैपिंग 1 is mapped to 2, let's say 1 is mapped to 2, fine, for this mapping let's say 1 is mapped to 2, 1 is mapped to 2 मतलब क्या है, f of 1 is 2, राइट। तो मतलब g of 2 क्या होगा, 1, g of 2 क्या होगा, 1, by this definition they have given. So after f is created ना, some of the elements of g are fixed now, ठीक है। तो ये जो 5 कंपोनेंट्स, जो 5 मेंबर्स थे ना, 5 मेंबर्स ऑफ द 5 मेंबर्स ऑफ जी, 5 मेंबर्स ऑफ जी आर फिक्स नाउ, ठीक है। 5 एलिमेंट्स ऑफ जी आर फिक्स, सो देयर इज ओनली वन वे फॉर देम, ये जो सारे फिक्स हो गए, ये फिक्स हो गए, तो उनके लिए फॉर देम वी आर हैविंग वन वे, फॉर द रिमेनिंग 5 वी आर हैविंग वन वे, but for the remaining members like 6 7 8 9 10, for the remaining members, the remaining members can be linked with any components, the remaining g के लिए, g के लिए the remaining members, g कहां से डिफाइंड हो रहा है, b2 है ना, the remaining members can be mapped to any of these 5 components, so each of them are having what, 5 options, each of them are having 5 options, each of the members are having 5 options, है कि नहीं। so into each of them, हर एक के पास 5 options रहेगा, तो 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 मतलब 5 raised to the power of 5 आएगा। 5 members are there, 5 members are left out, so 5 into 5 into 5 into 5, so 5 raised to the power of 5 is there, ठीक है ना, ये हो गया अभी। so now we simplify from here, यहाँ से सिंप्लीफाई कर लेते हैं। so we have 10 factorial, 10C5 is what, 10 factorial divided by 5 factorial into 5 factorial multiplied by 5 factorial, and here we have 5 to the power of 5. So 5 factorial and 5 factorial cancels out, so we have 10 factorial divided by 5 factorial multiplied by 5 to the power of 5, है क्या कोई, 10 factorial divided by 5 factorial multiplied by 5 to the power of 5, option A is correct. Next question is saying, it is a very common question, these type of, just a similar question, if you have solved the PYQ you can solve this question easily. This question, this similar type of question was given in way back in 2020 also. You will see around question number 6 or 7, I saw around question number 6 or 7, you'll see the video solution is there in my channel, you all can see the video solution in 2020, question 6 or 7 most probably, you will find a similar question was given, and the way to solve this question is absolutely the same. They have asked to find the largest positive integer not exceeding s. We have this series given. So how do we start with? We start with this relation, root over of n lies in between root over of n minus 1 and root over of n plus 1. Fine. Then what I do? I add root over of n on both the sides. So we have root over of n plus root over of n minus 1 is less than 2 times of root over of n is less than root over of n plus 1 plus root over of n. Okay. Then we take the reciprocal of this thing because we need the reciprocal sum. So we have root over of 1 upon root over of n plus root over of n minus 1 is less than 1 by 2 times of root over of n. Sorry, this orientation will change because you are taking the reciprocal. So the orientation will change. Is greater than 1 by root over of n plus 1 plus root over of n. ये बन जाएगा. So we can rewrite this as root over of 1 upon root over of n plus 1 plus root over of n is less than 1 by 2 times of root over of n is less than 1 by root n plus root over of n minus 1. ठीक है. Now what I do? We will rationalize this thing. Now we rationalize this. If you rationalize this, you multiply with the conjugate. So root over of n plus 1 minus root over of n. So in the numerator, you will be having root over of n plus 1 minus root over of n. And नीचे तो 1 बन जाएगा. Is less than 1 by 2 times of root over of n. Similarly, here also we rationalize. तो ये बन जाएगा root over of n plus root over of n minus 1. So this will become root over of n minus root over of n minus 1. ठीक है. Similarly, नीचे भी 1 बन जाएगा. ठीक है. So we are having this thing. अब क्या करो? Now you take the sigma. Now you take the summation. Summation of क्या दिया गया? Summation going from r is equal to 10,000 to 1,60,000 है ना. Root over of n plus 1 minus root over of n is less than summation 1 by 2 times root over of n. वही r is equal to 10,000 to 1,60,000 and फिर से less than summation r is equal to 10,000 to 1,60,000 root over of n minus root over of n minus 1. ठीक है. चलेगा. यही करेंगे बस. Now you can remove this 2 also. Multiply with 2 on both the sides. ये 2 हटा देते हैं यहाँ से. ये 2 हटा देते हैं यहाँ से. We can remove this 2. Remove this 2 from here and multiply on all 3 sides. Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. You will find that this thing will become a telescoping series. This thing will become a telescoping series. ठीक है. ये telescoping series बनेगा तो what is left out? What are the terms left out? Terms जो बचेगा, क्या बचेगा? बचेगा 16 root over of 16,001 root over of 16,001. ठीक है. Sorry, 1,60,001 ये बचेगा और minus root over of 10,000 which is 100. This will be left out. Check कर लेना. You can break using telescoping series. ये एक telescoping series बनेगा. Terms will get certain terms will get cancelled. ठीक है ना. Certain terms will get cancelled. बचेगा यही term. You break using, you start putting the values 10,000. ये बनेगा क्या? 10,001 minus root over of 10,000 which is 100. तो वो वाला term बचेगा. फर्स्ट टर्म का फर्स्ट ब्रैकेट का सेकंड टर्म इज लेफ्ट आउट एंड लास्ट ब्रैकेट का फर्स्ट टर्म इज लेफ्ट आउट. चेक कर लेना. फर्स्ट टर्म का सेकंड टर्म इज लेफ्ट आउट एंड मींस फर्स्ट ब्रैकेट का सेकंड टर्म इज लेफ्ट आउट एंड लास्ट ब्रैकेट का फर्स्ट टर्म इज लेफ्ट आउट. ठीक है. लेस देन समेशन r इज इक्वल टू जो भी आ रहा है, मतलब आई एम नॉट राइटिंग दिस फर्दर. ये s लिख देते हैं. हियर वी हैव s. It's given in the question to be s. यही तो s है. तो s लिख देते. We can write this as s is less than. Similarly here also 2 times of root over of n minus root over of n minus 1. Start putting the value 10,000. क्या बचेगा? 100 minus root over of 10,000 minus 1. तो 9999. तो यहां पर भी देखोगे क्या बचेगा. Lastly finally you will be left out with 400 बचेगा और minus root over of 9999. Again, this will become a telescoping series. You can check this thing. You can cross verify. ठीक है. You start putting the values. You will cross verify this thing. This will become a telescoping series. ठीक है. तो finally we are left out with this thing. इसको अगर simplify किया जाए, so this will become 2 times of, this is something around 400 point, because root over of 16, 1,60,000 is basically 400. So this will be around 400.001 minus 100. ठीक है, is less than s. ठीक है, और लेस देन ये भी 2 times of 400 minus root over of 9999. रूट ओवर ऑफ 9999 मतलब 99.999 समथिंग, यही कुछ आएगा, ऐसा ही कुछ आएगा, ठीक है ना, ऐसा ही कुछ आपको मिलेगा। तो वही 600 समथिंग समथिंग यू विल बी गेटिंग। ये भी वही चीज, 100 minus 400 minus 100, 400 minus 100 is something around वही 300, 300 point something something, here we are having 6, मतलब 600.003 is less than s, is less than 600.01, something like this you will be having. So greatest integer which is less than 600 will be what? 600 only. Greatest integer less than 600 will be 600. So option C is correct. Okay. Now this is a very routine question. The real number x satisfying this relation. Let's simplify this. So we are having mod of x square minus mod of x minus 2 divided by 2 times of mod of x minus mod of x square minus 2. Take mod of x to be t. Better to take mod of x to be t and then solve. So we are having 2t, sorry, t square minus t minus of 2 divided by 2t minus t square minus of 2. ठीक है, और ये भी लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में ले आओ, minus 2 is greater than 0. ठीक है, चलेगा. So once you take this LCM, so this will become what? T square minus t. ठीक है, t square minus t minus 2, और यहाँ पे minus of 4t plus 2t square minus of minus plus 4 divided by 2t minus t square. ये भी थोड़ा सिंप्लीफाई कर लेते. There is a reason for which I am simplifying this thing. So we are having t square, take a minus sign common, so we are having t square minus 2t plus 2 is greater than 0. अब ध्यान से देखना. So we are having t square plus 2t square, so we have 3t square. ठीक है, ये बन जाएगा 3t square. अच्छा, 3t square और ये बन जाएगा minus of 5t and plus 2t plus 2. ठीक है, अच्छा, t square minus 2t plus 2, t square minus 2t plus 2 is always positive. क्यों? चेक करो, here a is positive ना, a is 1 positive, d क्या है, d is basically b square minus 4ac, d is negative. See, a positive, d negative, तो quadratic is always positive, मालूम है ना. a is positive, d is negative, d stands for discriminant, so quadratic is always positive. So this quantity is always positive, but in front we are having a negative sign. So what? We can multiply with a negative sign and this change this orientation of this inequality. So this orientation will get changed. This will become less than 0, and once you cross multiply this will become 0. ठीक है, तो ये हटा दो, ये तो always positive है ही. So you just need to simplify this thing. 3t square minus 5t plus 2 is 0, less than 0. So we middle term factorize this thing. So we have 3t square minus of 2t minus of 3t or फिर plus 2 is less than 0. So how much is this? Here we are having t minus 1 and 3t minus 2 is less than 0. Turning points are what? 2 by 3 and 1. तो wavy curve से plus minus plus है ना. So which region is the required region? The negative one. So t is lying in between what? T is lying in between 2 by 3 and 1. So t is lying in between 2 by 3 and 1, मतलब क्या है कि mod x is lying in between 2 by 3 and 1, right? Mod x is lying in between 2 by 3 and 1. So if mod x is lying in between 2 by 3 and 1, which means x belongs to where? To where? X belongs to minus, ये जानते ही तो हो, minus infinity to, sorry, minus 1 to minus 2 by 3. ठीक है, union 2 by 3 to minus 1, 2 by 3 to 1, sorry, 2 by 3 to 1, मतलब option C is correct. Option C is correct. Okay, we have the next question which says that consider the points of the form n comma n to the power of k, where n and k are both are integers. There are some values of n and k given, range of values. how many such points are strictly inside the circle of radius 10 with center at the origin? So the points are strictly inside, all these points, all these sort of points are strictly inside the circle of radius 10 with center at the origin. So first of all, the equation of the circle which is having the center at the origin and radius 10 is given by this. And because the points are lying inside the circle, so definitely this will satisfy this equation. This will satisfy this relation. X square plus y square is less than or equal to 100. ठीक है ना? जब points है, will satisfy this relation. अब points क्या होंगे? What are the points? Let us take one point. Let us start by putting the value of k is equal to 1. Integer है तो k is equal to 1 ले लेते. K is equal to 1 लोगे तो the first type of points will be n, फिर क्या होगा n, n square type of points आएंगे, फिर then you will be having n, n cube type of points, then you will be having n, n to the power of 4 type of points, and so on, so on. This will continue. All these points will, such type of points will satisfy. If this will satisfy this inequality, we are going to consider those particular points. जैसे कि n type of points are what? What are the n type of points? 1 1 आएगा, 1 2 आएगा, sorry 2 2 आएगा, then 3 3, then 4 4, and so on, so on. This will continue till where? This will continue. All of these, see, all of these points are actually, all of these values of x are actually satisfying this inequality. 1 square plus 1 square, 2 square plus 2 square is less than or equal to 100. These are basically satisfying this inequality. कब तक करेगा? 7 7 तक करेगा. 7 7, 7 7, 49 plus 49 is less than or equal to 100. तब तक करेगा. Then let's see for the second case. Second case में क्या होगा? 2 4. I'm starting with 2 from here because the reason being I have already taken 1 1 over here itself. So I'm starting from 2 from here. ठीक है? So 2 4. Then we have 3 9. Then 4 16 and so on, so on. आगे जाएगा नहीं. 2 4 लोगे. 2 4. 2 square plus 4 square is less than or equal to 100. 3 9 will satisfy. 4 16 won't be satisfied. 4 16 भी आएगा नहीं. 4 16 भी नहीं आएगा. ठीक है? So I'll remove this thing. 4 16 will also not come. अच्छा, next is we have n n cube. Let's see the points from here. N n cube, we can start with once again 1 1 we have taken, so we won't take 1 1, so we can start with 2 directly. 2 8. ठीक है? आगे नहीं जाएगा क्योंकि 2 8 is only satisfying over here. आगे जाएगा नहीं. ठीक है? And from n to the power of 4, there will be no such points, because no such points will be there, no such type of points which will satisfy this inequality. So you have only these 3 cases. So you count the cases, count the number of points. How many points are there? 1 2 3, total 7 points. Now we are starting from, अच्छा, we have one more point. One more point is there क्योंकि n का value तो 0 से start हो रहा है. N is starting from 0, so definitely 0 0 is also included. 0 0 is also included. We are starting from 0, है ना? So 0 0 is also included. So how many are there? 1 2 3 4 5. Total 8 pairs are there. Actually, from the first case we have 8 pairs. Total 8 pairs. Second वाले से 2 pairs. So 8 plus 2. और third वाले से 1 pair. So total 11 pair must be there. So option A is correct. Total 11 is the right answer. Let's move to the next question. Next question says, if n is greater than 1, and let us arrange the expansion of this in the decreasing powers of x. Suppose the first 3 coefficients are in AP. Then we have to find the number of terms where x appears with an integer powers. Okay, let us do one by one. First of all, we have to arrange this expansion in the decreasing powers of x, and we have the first 3 coefficients are in AP. So let us try to relate. First of all, let's write down the general term over here. We have this expansion to be x to the power of half plus 1 upon 2x to the power of 1 by 4 whole to the power of n. We have this expansion given. So TR plus 1, the general term. General term is given by what? General term is what? NCR. Then we have x to the power of half whole to the power of n minus r, right? N terms are there, so n minus r, and then 1 upon 2x whole to the power of 1 by 4 whole to the power of r, right? Now we focus on the terms of x only, powers of x only. We have to focus on the terms of x because we have to deal with the terms of x. So we have x to the power of n minus r divided by 2, right? And minus from here you will be getting x to the power of r by 4, so minus of r by 4 from here. Okay? So if I simplify this thing, you will be obtaining x to the power of 2n minus 3r divided by 4. चलेगा ना? अब आप ध्यान से देखोगे, if r is equal to 0, 1 and 2, if you take the value of r to be 0, 1 and 2, you will obtain the हाईएस्ट पावर्स ऑफ एक्स, ठीक है ना, ये होगा। अब बोल रहा है सपोज फर्स्ट थ्री कोएफिशिएंट्स आर इन अरिथमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन, उस वी हैव टू यूज दैट आल्सो, ठीक है ना। आर for r is equal to 0 1 and 2 you will get the highest powers of x, so we take these values। अब r अगर 0 होता है, 1 होता है, 2 होता है, so we have the first three coefficients are in AP, so we have nc 0, so if we use this condition nc 0 nc 1 and half raised to the power of 1 and nc 2 half square, these three terms are in AP, so 2 times of middle term, 2 times of क्या होगा, nc 1 times of 2 times of middle term, what is it, nc 1 माने n, तो n into half, n into half is equal to sum of the first two, nc0 तो 1 ही होता है, 1 plus nc2 मतलब n into n minus 1 divided by 2 और फिर यहाँ पे 1/4 चलेगा, ये चीज आएगा। so 2 and 2 will cancel out, so right and left hand side we are having n and here we are having 1 plus, so ये कितना आ रहा है, n into, ये लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में ले आते हैं ना, n minus 1, make it as n minus 1 and right hand side we are having n into n minus 1 divided by 8, n cannot be 1, so n minus 1 can be cancelled from both the sides, n cannot be 1, so they have mentioned n is greater than 1, they have mentioned n is greater than 1, so n cannot be 1, so definitely from here we can say n must be equal to 8, n must be equal to 8 चलेगा ना, n must be definitely equal to 8, so we have tr plus 1, अब क्या चाहिए, नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स वेयर x appears with an integer powers, वो चीज देखना है, ठीक है। तो tr plus 1 will become what, tr plus 1 will become 8cr, right, 8cr and then x to the power of we have 4 minus, this will become 4 minus 3r by 2, right, we are dealing with the powers of x, so we have 4 minus, if n is 8, so we have 4 minus 3r by 2, sorry 3r by 4, 3r by 4 and that's it basically, we have the values of x over here, ठीक है, ये चीज आएगा। तो बोल रहा है कि नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स वेयर एक्स अपीयर्स विद एन इंटीजर पावर्स, ठीक है। तो इफ व्हाट आर द पॉसिबल वैल्यूज ऑफ आर, आर इज गोइंग फ्रॉम 0 1 एंड सो ऑन टिल 8, राइट, तो इंटीजर कब कब बनेगा, व्हेन दिस इज इंटीजर फॉर द वैल्यूज ऑफ आर, आर कैन बी, आर कैन बी व्हाट, आर कैन बी 0, आर कैन बी 4, आर कैन बी 8, ओनली फॉर दीज वैल्यूज ऑफ आर, only for these values of r only we are having this to be integer, है ना, x will appear with this integer power, we have to only focus on the powers of x, x will appear integer for what values of r, 0 4 and 8, अगर 0 दोगे 4 दोगे 8 दोगे then only this quantity will become integer, ठीक है, because the values of r are restricted from 0 to 8, so definitely 3 values of r, so option A is correct, this was easy question। Okay, next we have this limit question. This was a difficult one. Limit n tends to infinity 2 log 2 plus 3 log 3 and so on till n log n divided by n square log n. Now we don't know the sum of this. Okay. Uh, some people just try to solve this using this Riemann sum formula. You know. So what I do, if I rewrite this thing as limit n tends to infinity, this numerator is given as r is equal to 2 to n r log r divided by n square log n. What I do is I'll try to just study the behavior of this r log r function. ठीक है, ये जो summation r log r है ना, what I do, I'll try to study the behavior of this summation r log r. R log r is approximately the same thing as x log x, ठीक है, summation r log r बोलो कि summation x log x, मान लेते हैं कि दोनों summation same है, function है, we study the behavior of the function fx is equal to x log x, we study the behavior of fx is equal to x log x। ध्यान से अगर देखोगे डोमेन ऑफ log x इज पॉजिटिव ओनली 0 प्लस से, तो डेफिनेटली व्हाट आई कैन डू, अगर डिफरेंशिएट करोगे तो f डैश ऑफ x इज व्हाट, f डैश ऑफ x इज 1 प्लस log x, ठीक है। और आप देख पा रहे हो कि दिस इज ऑलवेज मोर देन 0 बिकॉज जो समेशन है r इज गोइंग फ्रॉम वेयर 2 टू n, और 2 टू n r इज इक्वल टू 2 टू n, दिस इज ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव, मतलब क्या है कि ये इंक्रीजिंग फंक्शन है, f इज इंक्रीजिंग फंक्शन, f is increasing function. So what I do, I draw the graph of this. I draw the graph of this increasing function like this. ठीक है, ऐसा एक increasing function मान लो. Now what I do, I consider a strip of width 1 unit. ठीक है ना, ऐसे स्ट्रिप बनाएंगे, समेशन है. ठीक है, विल ट्राई टू अप्रोक्सीमेटली कन्वर्ट दिस इनटू इंटीग्रल. ठीक है, तो हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे स्ट्रिप बनाएंगे. विल टेक द स्ट्रिप ऑफ यूनिट लेंथ. नाउ दिस समेशन इज स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 2, तो मतलब ये 2 से शुरू होगा. ठीक है, 2 चलेगा. विद इज बेसिकली 1, सो ये 0.3 होगा. ठीक है, ये जितना एरिया है ना, दिस एरिया विल बी, दिस एरिया इज गिवन बाय 2 log 2. ठीक है, ये जो एरिया होगा दिस इज गिवन बाय 2 log 2. ये होगा 2 log 2. फिर आगे एक और स्ट्रिप लोगे. हियर यू विल टेक वन मोर स्ट्रिप. स्ट्रिप, दिस एरिया विल बी 3 log 3. आगे एक और स्ट्रिप होगा. दिस स्ट्रिप विल बी व्हाट, 4 log 4 एंड सो ऑन. कब तक जाएगा, दिस विल गो अंटिल वेयर, दिस विल गो अंटिल n+1. दिस विल गो अंटिल n+1. मानते हो ना, ये जो लास्ट जो स्ट्रिप होगा, लास्ट स्ट्रिप विल बी फ्रॉम वेयर टू वेयर, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 2 n and n+1. ठीक है ना, n and n+1, तो मतलब ये n+1 तक जाएगा. लास्ट का मतलब लास्ट जो लेंथ होगा दैट इज n+1. चलेगा, बट द एरिया ऑफ दिस थिंग विल बी गिवन बाय n log n. समझ पा रहे हो ना, चलेगा. So we try to generate some sort of inequality over here. This summation r is equal to, ये जो summation है, summation r is equal to 2 to n. ठीक है, r log r. ठीक है, this summation is actually less than, ये जो area होगा, ये जो area होगा, this summation is actually less than integration 2 to n+1. अपर लिमिट क्या होगा, n+1 तक जा रहा है ना, 2 to n+1. टोटल अगर करोगे, दिस टोटल रीजन्स एरिया, ये अगर टोटल एरिया, इससे तो कम ही आएगा ना. आर लॉग आर, ये जो समेशन, ये जो टोटल एरिया है शेडेड का, शेडेड रीजन का एरिया विल बी लेस देन दिस इंटीग्रल, मतलब टोटल एरिया. तो इंटीग्रेशन गोइंग फ्रॉम वेयर टू वेयर, 2 to n+1. समझ पा रहे हो ना, 2 to n+1. सो आई एम ट्राइंग टू जनरेट सम सॉर्ट ऑफ इनइक्वालिटी, 2 to n+1 x log x. इससे तो कम ही आएगा, है ना. This total regions area will be less than, I mean to say the total strips area will be less than this integral area. ठीक है, और फिर लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में लिमिट कैसे जनरेट करोगे, मिनिमम वैल्यू के लिए. मिनिमम वैल्यू, ये तो मैक्सिमम हो गया, फिर मिनिमम वैल्यू भी एक चाहिए. वी आर ट्राइंग टू यूज सम सॉर्ट ऑफ सैंडविच थ्योरम. ठीक है, फिर मिनिमम वैल्यू के लिए क्या करोगे, हियर यू विल टेक वन मोर स्ट्रिप, दिस साइड यू विल टेक वन मोर स्ट्रिप. फॉर मिनिमम वैल्यू दिस साइड वंस अगेन यू विल टेक दिस स्ट्रिप. ठीक है, ऑफ यूनिट लेंथ 1 यूनिट. ठीक है ना, इसका एरिया क्या होगा, 1 log 1. ठीक है, फिर क्या करोगे, इसी को ध्यान से सुनना, सेम चीज, ये जो स्ट्रिप है इसी को यहाँ पे बनाओगे, यहाँ पे शिफ्ट करोगे. सेम स्ट्रिप को यहाँ पे शिफ्ट करोगे, ये स्ट्रिप बन जाएगा. फिर सिमिलरली इसी सेम स्ट्रिप को यहाँ पे शिफ्ट करोगे, ये बन जाएगा फिर. ठीक है, ऑल दिस, तो यहाँ पे जो एक्स्ट्रा एरिया आ रहा है ना, एक्स्ट्रा ऑल दिस एरियाज, दिस विल गिव यू द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू. ठीक है, ऐसे करते हुए बनाओगे. फिर लास्ट में जाके यहाँ पर भी सेम चीज होगा, यहाँ पे बनेगा लास्ट स्ट्रिप. ये जो एक्स्ट्रा एरिया यू आर गेटिंग आउटसाइड, दिस विल गिव यू द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू. तो रेंज कहाँ से स्टार्ट होगा, रेंज तो 1 से स्टार्ट होगा. रेंज विल डेफिनेटली स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 1. रेंज विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 1 and this will start from 1 and go up till where, go up till n. So 1 to n x log x. These are the bounds actually, these are the bounds. So we have to integrate by parts. So log x minus log x into x square by 2, और फिर माइनस इंटीग्रेशन 1 by x into x square by 2. ठीक है, x and x this will cancel out. बाद में टोटल लिमिट्स डाल देंगे पूरा 1 to n. तो ये कितना आ रहा है, हाउ मच इज दिस, सो दिस इज बेसिकली x square by 2 log x. x square by 2 log x, and minus here we are having x square by 4. Limits going from 1 to n. So finally we are having n square by 2 log n minus n square by 4. ठीक है, और फिर ये तो 0 हो जाएगा, 1 log 1 इज 0, सो वी हैव प्लस 1 by 4. दैट्स व्हाट वी आर हैविंग. ठीक है, ये चीज बन जाएगा फाइनली, फाइनल में जाके. और आगे आपको क्या करना है ना, यहाँ पे लिमिट्स भी लेना है, एंड वी हैव टू डिवाइड बाय n स्क्वायर log n आल्सो, बिकॉज इन दिस एंटायर स्टोरी वी हैवंट डिवाइडेड विद n स्क्वायर log n. तो पहले तो ये सॉल्व कर लेते हैं. लेट अस सॉल्व दिस फर्स्ट एंड देन वी कैन डिवाइड दिस. ओके, so next what we are having is this integration x log x. same चीज x square, ये जो है x square log x is there, x square by 2 log x यहाँ पे कर लेते. we don't have much space here, so x square by 2 log x ही आएगा minus x square by 4. now the limits are going from where to where? Limits are going from 2 to n plus 1, 2 to n plus 1. तो यहाँ पे डालोगे क्या आएगा, n plus 1 होल स्क्वायर, n plus 1 होल स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई 2 का होल स्क्वायर. ठीक है, फिर ये बन जाएगा क्या, log ऑफ n plus 1, log ऑफ n plus 1. ठीक है, और माइनस n plus 1 होल स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई 4. चलेगा. अच्छा, माइनस ऑफ ये बन जाएगा फाइनली, दिस विल बिकम माइनस ऑफ 2 स्क्वायर बाई 4 log 2 आएगा. ठीक है, इधर से log 2 आएगा और फिर यहाँ से माइनस ऑफ ये आएगा. कैलकुलेशन इज फाइन ना. 2 log 2, 2 log 2 प्लस दिस विल बिकम 2 स्क्वायर 4 बाई 4, मतलब प्लस 1. यही चीज आएगा. ठीक है, कैलकुलेशन एक बार चेक कर लेना. यू कैन चेक द कैलकुलेशन. फाइन, you'll get something like this. Now what we have to do is we have to divide by n square log n. We have to divide by n square log n and also find the limit. n square log n से डिवाइड भी तो करना है. n square log n यहाँ पे, n square log n, वही सैंडविच थ्योरम वाला लॉजिक यूज करना है. n square log n, ठीक है, n square log n सैंडविच थ्योरम, और फिर जाके लिमिट डाल देना है. लिमिट n टेंड्स टू इंफिनिटी, लिमिट n टेंड्स टू इंफिनिटी. ठीक है, और फिर लिमिट n टेंड्स टू इंफिनिटी. चलेगा. तो यहाँ पे अगर डालोगे मतलब यहाँ पे डालना है. यू हैव टू डिवाइड दिस क्वांटिटी. सो व्हाट इज दिस क्वांटिटी? दिस क्वांटिटी इज n स्क्वायर बाई 2. दिस क्वांटिटी इज n स्क्वायर बाई 2 log n माइनस ऑफ n स्क्वायर बाई 4 प्लस 1 बाई 4. ठीक है, और फिर टोटल थिंग डिवाइडेड बाई n स्क्वायर log n, n स्क्वायर log n. तो ये देखो, ये तो काफी सिंपल लिमिट है. फ्रॉम हियर log n एंड log n विल कैंसिल आउट, n स्क्वायर एंड n स्क्वायर विल कैंसिल आउट, ओनली 2 इज रिमेनिंग. ये तो कांस्टेंट ही है, n स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई 4, n स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई 4, n स्क्वायर कैंसिल आउट, 1 बाई log n इज रिमेनिंग. एंड आफ्टर पुटिंग दिस लिमिट n टेंड्स टू इंफिनिटी, सोचो, खुद ही सोचो, लिमिट n टेंड्स टू इंफिनिटी, n स्क्वायर कैंसिल्स आउट, राइट, log n कैंसिल्स आउट, हाफ इज रिमेनिंग. फर्स्ट वाले से हाफ बचेगा. ठीक है, सॉरी, फर्स्ट वाले से हाफ बचेगा फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट टर्म, ओनली हाफ इज रिमेनिंग, ऑल विल गेट कैंसिल. सो वी हैव n स्क्वायर बाई 4 divided by n square, फिर से n square cancels out, only 1 by log n is remaining. After putting the limit 1 by log n, limit n tends to infinity, 1 by infinity tends to 0, 0 बन जाएगा. Similarly 1 by 4 divided by n square log n, वो चीज भी 0 बन जाएगा. that will tend to 0 after putting the limits. तो क्या बचेगा, only half is remaining. Similarly you calculate over here also, once you divide n square by log n over here, n square log n से यहाँ पर भी अगर डिवाइड करोगे तो वही सिमिलर चीज ही आएगा. यहाँ से थोड़ा मुश्किल नहीं है, जस्ट इट्स कैलकुलेटिव ओवर हियर, बट यू विल सिमिलरली चेक ओवर हियर. यू कैन क्लियरली सी, एक हिंट आपको दे देते हैं यहाँ से, एक सैंडविच थ्योरम से आपको सैंडविच थ्योरम यूज कर रहे हैं. वी आर सिंपली यूजिंग सैंडविच थ्योरम ओवर हियर. सो वी हैव n स्क्वायर log n इज देयर. ठीक है, n स्क्वायर log n तो है. यहाँ पे अगर डिवाइड मारोगे ये क्या आएगा, व्हाट इज दिस, n प्लस 1 होल स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई 2. एक टर्म दिखा देते हैं यहाँ से, सपोज लाइकवाइज हियर आई एम शोइंग यू हाउ टू डू द कैलकुलेशन. ठीक है, ये वाला कैलकुलेट खुद करना. दिस इज n प्लस 1 होल स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई 2 and this is n square log n. So this will actually become n square. यहाँ से क्या करोगे, n square कॉमन ले लोगे. You can take out one n square common. So this will become what, 1 plus 1 by n का होल स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाई 2 times of n square log n, 2 times of n square log n square will cancel out, ठीक है। और लिमिट डालने पे दिस विल 1 plus 1 by n, this will tend to 1 and this will tend to 0, सॉरी दिस विल टेंड टू इन्फिनिटी, सो 1 by infinity will tend to 0, वो वाला पार्ट 0 बन जाएगा, ठीक है। और फिर आगे यहाँ पे log n भी तो है, वो भी हैंडल करना है, ठीक है ना। वो आगे जो log n है वो log n टाइम्स ऑफ, वैसे भी एक चीज कर सकते हो, यू कैन डू वन थिंग, डोंट डू इन दिस वे, आगे तो log n भी है ना, so we have to take care of this thing also, we have so log of n plus 1, तो log of n plus 1 divided by log n कर लेना, ठीक है, and simply use the L'Hopital's rule, this will be the best way, means what I'm trying to say is, let me remove this, आगे वो log n है ना, तो this will create the problem, तो ये काम करोगे, what will you do is n plus 1 whole square is there, n plus 1 you take out one n square common, so 1 plus 1 by n का whole square, ठीक है, और फिर नीचे डिवाइडेड बाई 2 टाइम्स ऑफ n स्क्वायर log n, और log n जो है ना साथ में तो log ऑफ n plus 1 भी है, log ऑफ n plus 1 डिवाइडेड बाई log n, this you can solve after putting the limit, this will tend to 1, this will tend to 1 because this quantity will tend to 0, this will tend to 1, यहाँ पे हाफ बचेगा, how to solve this limit, L'Hopital's rule, L'Hopital's rule यूज कर लो, you will solve this limit, सिमिलरली बाकी ये तो कांस्टेंट है बिकॉज दिस क्वांटिटी इज बिगर, ये जो क्वांटिटी है न्यूमरेटर इज व्हाट, दिस क्वांटिटी इज स्मॉलर देन द डिनोमिनेटर, ठीक है, तो दिस विल टू डेफिनेटली टेंड टू 0, ये जो रिमेनिंग क्वांटिटी है डेफिनेटली विल टेंड टू 0, न्यूमरेटर ज्यादा है, दिस विल डेफिनेटली टेंड टू 0, ठीक है। आगे इसके लिए ये सॉल्व कर लेना, ये लिमिट वही आएगा, ये लिमिट भी हाफ ही आएगा, दिस लिमिट विल बी 1 एंड फाइनली यू विल बी गेटिंग द आंसर टू बी 1 फ्रॉम द right hand side also and you will get the option C as correct, ठीक है। तो ये काफी अच्छा क्वेश्चन, दिस इज अ वेरी नाइस क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम लिमिट्स, ठीक है, जहां पे ये स्ट्रिप वाला मेथड ज्यादा यूज नहीं होता है। ओके, वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, let p less than q be prime number such that p square plus q square plus 7pq is a perfect square, then the largest possible value of q is what? We have solved this question quite a few times in the class itself, exact expression was there, p square plus q square plus 7pq, this being a perfect square, ठीक है, ये काफी बार हमने क्लास में किया है, this is basically how do we solve this, it's a perfect square, and so we have p square plus q square plus 7pq is a perfect square, तो कुछ मान लो k square मान लेते, perfect square है, फिर क्या करोगे p plus q, p square plus q square plus आई एम राइटिंग दिस एज परफेक्ट स्क्वायर, यही तो मेथड होता है परफेक्ट स्क्वायर करके, क्या बचेगा 5pq, ठीक है, प्लस 2pq माइनस 2pq, तो व्हाट इज लेफ्ट आउट, 5pq इज लेफ्ट आउट एंड राइट हैंड साइड वी आर हैविंग k स्क्वायर, सो वी आर हैविंग p plus q होल स्क्वायर, दिस विल बिकम p plus q होल स्क्वायर प्लस 5pq, ठीक है, इज इक्वल टू k स्क्वायर, फिर क्या k स्क्वायर माइनस p plus q होल स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 5pq, okay. So next what we are having, so we can factorize this thing, so we have two factors, k plus p plus q into k minus p minus q is equal to 5pq, ठीक है। So k minus p minus q, we have the following cases, k minus p minus q, ये तो smaller quantity है, this is k plus p plus q and here we have k minus bracket p plus q, है ना। तो what are the cases, we can make the cases, k minus p minus q can be what, 5 हो सकता है, p हो सकता है, q हो सकता है, 5p हो सकता है, नहीं तो 1 हो सकता है, so accordingly k plus p plus q will be what, if this is 5 then this will be what, pq, if this is p then this will be 5q, if this is q then this will be 5p, and if this is 5p then this will be q, है ना, and this is 1 then this will be 5pq, चलेगा, fine. Out of all these cases you can eliminate this case, you can remove this case, ये q वाला केस हटा सकते हो, this cannot be, k plus p plus q cannot be q because k plus p plus q is more than q, ठीक है ना, k plus p plus q is more than q, तो q तो कैंसिल हो जाएगा यहाँ से, so the thing is you can remove this case, if this is removed then this part is also removed, ये वाला केस remove हो गया। So let's start with the very first case itself, so we have k minus p, ये जो है k minus p, we start for the first case, we have k minus p minus q is equal to 5 and we are having k plus p plus q is equal to pq, चलेगा। अच्छा, तो मान लेते कि क्या करेंगे ना, सी ओवर हियर व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, वी सब्ट्रैक्ट दीज टू। ठीक है, ये 2 - 1 कर लेते हैं। देखो 2 - 1 करो, 2 - 1 करो, 2 - 1 करोगे क्या आएगा, ध्यान से देखना। 2 टाइम्स ऑफ p + q, दिस विल बी इक्वल टू व्हाट, pq - 5, pq - 5, एंड दिस इज अ वेरी वेल नोन इक्वेशन। दिस इज अ वेरी वेल नोन इक्वेशन, याद है आपको? वी डिस्कस दीज टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, xy इज इक्वल टू n टाइम्स ऑफ x + y, ऐसा ही कुछ फॉर्मेट, these type of formats we discuss right in our classes डायफेंटाइन में। तो ये वही फॉर्मेट है। ठीक है, तो चलो सॉल्व करेंगे इसको। 2 टाइम्स ऑफ p + q, व्हाट इज द मेथड टू सॉल्व दिस थिंग? हम इसको ये मैनिपुलेट करेंगे, pq -2p -2q एंड -5। ठीक है, या फिर 5 ही रखते हैं, कांस्टेंट 5। सो व्हाट आई डू, I'll forcefully try to bring this thing, pq is there, so p times of, I'll make this as p common, so q - 2, ठीक है, and minus of 2 times of q - 2. So extra factors we are taking, minus minus plus 4 we are taking, plus 4 we are taking, so we have to subtract 4, है ना? और वो subtract 4 जो है, -4 take on the right hand side, so we have 5 + 4, make it 9. Extra factor we have taken, so +4 -4, अरे ये +4 है ना, +4 -4, so you take the -4 on the right hand side, so this will become 5 + 4 9. So finally we have the left hand side factorization, which is p - 2 q - 2, p - 2 and q - 2 is equal to 9. ठीक है, सो व्हाट आर द पॉसिबिलिटीज, 9 टाइम्स 1 और 1 टाइम्स 9, लेकिन यहाँ पे तो कुछ कंडीशन है, p इज लेस देन q, है ना? सो p - 2 मस्ट बी, p - 2 मस्ट बी 1 एंड q - 2 मस्ट बी 9, है ना? p इज लेस देन q दिया है, सो q - 2 मस्ट बी 9, चलेगा? यही सही आपको मिलेगा। सो p विल बी व्हाट, p विल बी 3 एंड q विल बी व्हाट, 11। p will be 3 and q will be 11। सिमिलरली ये केस तो हो गया। सिमिलरली यहाँ से आप देखोगे रिमेनिंग केसेस, you will find the minimum value of, they have said, sorry, they have said the largest possible value of q, you will find the largest possible value of q to be 11 only, you will similarly see the remaining cases। ठीक है, यहाँ से देख लेना, कुछ कुछ केसेस आप यहाँ से एलिमिनेट भी कर पाओगे ड्यू टू द गिवन कंडीशन p is less than q, you will be able to eliminate certain cases as well, but the largest possible value will be 11 only। ठीक है, सिमिलरली बाकी केसेस अगर चेक करोगे, ये वाला केस या फिर ये वाला केस या फिर ये वाला केस थोड़ा लेंदी है। ठीक है, खाली केसेस आपको चेक करना है। सो if you see all the cases, you will figure out that q is 11 is the only answer which we are getting from here। ठीक है, the largest possible value will be 11, option B is correct। Okay, next we have this question which says that the set of all real numbers x for which 3 to the power of 2 to the power of 1 minus x square is an integer has how many elements? Okay, so first what I do, I'll try to find the range of this function given 3 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 1 minus x square। So we try to find the range of this function। तो अगर रेंज अगर ध्यान से देखेंगे, we start with this minus of x square। In fact, we start with this x square। x square we know x square is always positive, x square is always greater than or equal to 0। ठीक है, तो if x square is greater than or equal to 0, so minus of x square is what, less than or equal to 0, right? And this is, in fact we can say minus infinity less than minus x square less than or equal to 0, ये हम बोल पाएंगे, चलेगा? सो इफ वी एड 1, तो ये बन जाएगा माइनस इंफिनिटी लेस देन 1 माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर इज लेस देन और इक्वल टू 1। ठीक है, देन वी रेज द पावर, अगर पावर रेज करोगे वी हैव टू रेज द पावर टू 2, सो 2 रेज टू द पावर ऑफ माइनस इंफिनिटी, दिस विल टेंड टू 0, है ना? 2 रेज टू द पावर ऑफ माइनस इंफिनिटी विल टेंड टू 0 लेस देन 2 to the power of 1 minus x square is less than or equal to 2 to the power of 1 which is 2, चलेगा? अच्छा, नेक्स्ट व्हाट यू डू, नेक्स्ट क्या चाहिए, वी हैव टू रेज द पावर टू 3 नाउ, सो 3 रेज टू द पावर ऑफ 0 इज 1, so this will become 3 to the power of 2 to the power of 1 minus x square, ठीक है, and less than or equal to 3 square 9, so the values of this will lie in between 1 and 9, right? Now they are saying the set of all real numbers x for which this is an integer, this quantity, when this quantity can take integer values, what are the integer values in between 1 and 9? The integer values are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. We are starting from 2 because here we have open interval 1, so we cannot take 1. So these are the integer values starting from 2 to 9. ठीक है, अब ध्यान से देखना, these are the integer values this function can take. This function can take, these are these integer values this function can take. For every values of this function, every integral value of this function, you will be getting corresponding two values of x. एक negative वाला, एक positive वाला. You will be getting two values of x. You can cross check this thing. Likewise, here we are having 3 to the power of 2 to the power of 1 minus x square. Suppose ये अगर 3 हो जाए, ठीक है, 3 मतलब 3 raised to the power of 1. तो अब देखना यहाँ पे आपको दो वैल्यूज ऑफ एक्स मिलेंगे ना, यू विल गेटिंग टू वैल्यूज ऑफ एक्स. ठीक है ना, ये अगर सॉल्व करोगे क्या आएगा, 2 raised to the power of, कंपेयर द पावर, सो वी हैव 2 raised to the power of 1 minus x square, ठीक है, इज इक्वल टू 1. चलेगा, और 1 मतलब क्या है कि 2 raised to the power of 0. So what is 1 minus x square is what? 0. X square is 1. X is plus minus 1. तो आ रहा है ना प्लस माइनस 1, यू आर गेटिंग टू वैल्यूज. सो आई एम सेइंग कि फॉर एवरी वैल्यूज ऑफ इंटीग्रल वैल्यूज ऑफ दिस फंक्शन, ये क्या है, फंक्शन वैल्यूज है ना, ये तो फंक्शन वैल्यूज है, फंक्शन वैल्यूज है. फॉर एवरी फंक्शन वैल्यूज यू विल बी गेटिंग कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग टू वैल्यूज ऑफ एक्स. एक प्लस वन, एक और एक प्लस वैल्यू, एक नेगेटिव वैल्यू. वन पॉजिटिव वैल्यू एंड वन नेगेटिव वैल्यूज ऑफ एक्स यू विल बी ऑब्टेनिंग till this number, till 8. Till 8 you will be getting, for 9 there will be one value. Till 8 you will be getting two values correspondingly, but except 9. Except 9, क्यों? 9 के लिए दूसरा होगा, ध्यान से देखो. For 9 what will happen? 3 to the power of 2 to the power of 1 minus x square is 9. ठीक है, मतलब कि 3 square. So 2 to the power of 1 minus x square is what? 2. ठीक है, तो 1 minus x square is 1. So here 1 and 1 will cancel out, so x square is 0. तो x 0 ही आ रहा है ना खाली, you are getting 0 only. So only values of x which will satisfy, for which this is 9, is x. X is 0, which is x is 0. So only one values of x from here. हर एक के लिए देखो, from these components, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for each of these members, you will be getting two values of x. So total, actually, you will be getting 14 members from here. 14 values of x will be here. ठीक है, 14 values of x for which this function will become integer. 14 values and one more values of x from here, which is plus 1. So this will, all total you will be getting 15 elements, 15 values. So all total, option B is correct, 15 elements. 15 elements of x will be there for which this function will become integer. And next we have this question from complex number. So ABC be 3 complex number. Then we have this equation AZ plus BZ bar plus C is equal to 0. Represents a straight line on the complex plane if and only if, for what condition we have to see. Fine. So we have this complex number, this equation given, AZ plus BZ bar plus C is equal to 0. This is given actually. ठीक है, लेकिन हमें क्या पता है, we know the standard equation of line in complex plane is given by what? A bar Z, है ना, plus AZ bar plus B is equal to 0, where these two are conjugate of each other and B is a real number. B is a real number, ये हमें पता है. B is a real number, but in this scenario they have given ABC, both are complex, all three are complex number. In this scenario they have given ABC are all three are complex number, right? So we have to make this thing to be real, क्योंकि यहाँ पे होता है ना, the main equation which we have learned, B is a real number. So what I do here, I divide by C. If I divide by C, so this will become A by CZ plus B by C Z bar plus 1 is equal to 0. So now you can see that this component now becomes a real number. So now this will become equation of line. ठीक है ना? Now this component is becoming one equation of line. And what is the condition? Condition is basically these two are conjugate of each other. These two are complex numbers and these two are conjugate of each other. So conjugate मतलब क्या होता है? मतलब A by C is equal to B by C bar. ये होता है. ठीक है? So if we cross multiply, so we have A C bar is equal to B bar C. लेकिन यहाँ पे तो ये चीज है नहीं. So if you take, once again, if you take conjugate on both the sides, so this will become A bar C is equal to B C bar by the properties of conjugate. which is one condition given. Now there must be a confusion in between option B and D. Because B is just one condition, there is another condition which will satisfy. Both of these are conjugate of each other, right? जो मेन कंडीशन होता है ना, मेन कंडीशन में क्या होता है, मेन कंडीशन में these two are complex number and these two are basically conjugate of each other. These two are conjugate of each other, and if they are conjugate then their modulus are also the same. लेकिन जीरो नहीं होना चाहिए, obvious reasons. This cannot be zero. Modulus, if these two are conjugate of each other, so definitely their modulus must be also the same. Modulus of a complex number and the modulus of the conjugate of that same complex number, both are the same. But this cannot be zero, because if this is zero, then this quantity will become zero. This is zero, this is zero. Only B will be remaining. तब तो line आएगा ही नहीं फिर. So definitely option D must be correct. Option D is correct. One more good explanation to this question can be seen over here, like I have given. जहां पे मैंने ये चीज ले लिया था. Here this line is given AZ plus B Z bar plus C, where all three are complex number. So what I did is I just took the conjugate on both the sides and I simplified into this manner. Then what I did is I add these two. I added these two. I added these two. Simply, I have added these two. So after adding, so we summarize these components. So we have A plus B bar, Z plus A bar plus B. So these two are conjugate of each other. दिखाई दे रहा है ना? These two are conjugate of each other, which is of this form. यही चीज है. These two are conjugate of each other. After adding these two are conjugate of each other. समझ पा रहे हो ना? अगर conjugate है, यही तो मेन फंडा है कि these two are conjugate. C plus C bar is real. सब लोग जानते हो. C plus C bar, any complex number plus the conjugate of the complex number will give you a real number. ये तो रियल है ही, ये क्वांटिटी तो रियल है ही. ठीक है ना? These two are conjugate of each other. Also, if they are conjugate, then their modulus will also become the same. But this cannot be zero. Zero तो हो नहीं सकता. ठीक है. मैंने एक यहाँ पे एक लाइव एग्जांपल भी दे रखा है कि ये चीज z माइनस आई जेड बार प्लस 1 माइनस आई, यू कैन चेक दिस थिंग, ऑल द कंडीशन विल सेटिस्फाई. दिस इज अ लाइन एक्चुअली. ये एक लाइन बनेगा, ये एक लाइन है. यू कैन चेक दिस थिंग. ठीक है. यू कैन चेक दिस थिंग बाय पुटिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ z टू बी x प्लस आई वाई and see that the previous all conditions will satisfy over here. मतलब mod of a is equal to mod of b not equal to 0 भी आएगा and a bar c is equal to b c bar भी आपको मिल जाएगा यहाँ से. Fine. So next we have this 27 question, which is saying in this adjoining figure C is the center of the circle drawn. Okay. AFE lies on the circle and BCDF is a rectangle. If DE by AB is 2, then FE by FA is how much? We have to figure out what is FE by FA. Okay, fine. FE by FA, we have to figure out this thing. Okay, FE by FA, we need to figure out this. ठीक ठाक से ड्रॉ कर लेते. They have joined this thing, so there is no need to draw. ठीक है, डॉटेड लाइन से ये दे रखा है यहाँ पे. ठीक है. ये क्या दिया गया कि DE by AB is given to be, this ratio is given to be 2. Fine. DE by AB ratio is given to be 2. अच्छा, ये अगर 2 दिया हुआ है ना, तो कैन आई से दैट इफ दिस रेशियो इज 2, तो ये अगर x है, सपोज ये अगर x है, देन दिस इज 2x, देन दिस इज 2x. ठीक है. ये अगर x है तो ये 2x है. फाइन. अच्छा, ये तो रेडियस है, ये भी रेडियस है, ये भी रेडियस है. ऑल ऑफ दीज आर रेडियस. रेडियस को r मान लेते हैं. सपोज आई टेक द रेडियस टू बी r. इफ द रेडियस इज r, दिस इज r, राइट. ये भी r है. अच्छा, ये भी r है, तो दिस मच इज व्हाट, r माइनस एक्स. दिस मच इज r माइनस एक्स एंड दिस मच इज व्हाट, r माइनस 2x. ये यहां से यहां तक r माइनस 2x है. ठीक है, चलेगा. अच्छा, तो सोचते हैं यहां से. सो कैन वी यूज पाइथागोरस थ्योरम फॉर दिस ट्राइंगल इटसेल्फ. कैन वी यूज पाइथागोरस थ्योरम फॉर दिस ट्राइंगल. ठीक है तो ये एक रेक्टेंगल. सो इफ दिस इज r माइनस एक्स, सो एज दिस इज ऑल्सो r माइनस एक्स, दिस इज ऑल्सो r माइनस एक्स. है तो ये एक रेक्टेंगल. If I use this Pythagoras theorem here directly, so we have r minus x whole square plus r minus 2x whole square is equal to r square. So what we have from here, 5x square plus r square minus of 6xr is equal to 0. देखो r square मैंने यहां से एक one of this r square I have cancelled. One of the r square I have cancelled. समझ लो, one of the r square I have cancelled. So if I simplify, so this will become what? R minus x into r minus 5x is equal to 0. So r cannot be equal to x. So definitely r must be equal to 5x. तो x क्या आएगा? x will be r by 5. x will be r by 5. ठीक है, यहां से देखो x आ गया. x is r by 5. So if x is r by 5, we can find the remaining lengths also. ये 2x वगैरह भी आपको मिल जाएगा. 2x is what? 2x is 2r by 5. ये लेंथ जो है, this length, we can figure out this length. This length is now 2r by 5. है ना? जो 2x है, 2x will be 2r by 5. ठीक है, x is what? r by 5. ये चीज r by 5 आ जाएगा. तो r minus 2x is what? r minus 2x will be 5x minus 2x मतलब 3x आ जाएगा. ये 3x मिल जाएगा आपको. And r minus x, this part r minus x will become 5x minus x, which is 4x. ये 4x आ जाएगा आपको. ये 4x है तो ये भी 4x है. This will also become 4x. ठीक है, चलेगा. ये 4x है, ये r है. ठीक है ना, ये 3x है तो ये भी 3x है. ये भी 3x आ जाएगा. ठीक है, चाहिए आपको क्या? एफ ई बाई एफ ए. एफ ई बाई एफ ए, तो एफ ई तो वैसे ही मिल जाएगा ना आपको फ्रॉम दिस राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल. एफ ई यू कैन फिगर आउट एफ ई फ्रॉम दिस राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल. ठीक है, फ्रॉम दिस राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल वी हैव दिस राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल. ये 4x है. ठीक है, हियर वी आर हैविंग 2x by 5. एफ ई इनिशियली, एफ ई वॉज 4x, 2x. इनिशियली एफ ई वॉज 2x था ना. इनिशियली एफ ई नहीं, सॉरी, डीई. इनिशियली डीई वॉज 2x. ठीक है ना, ये वाला ट्राइंगल में फोकस करो. ये कौन सा ट्राइंगल है? एफ डी ई. इनिशियली डी वॉज 2x, राइट. ये 2x है, ये 4x है. राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल है. पाइथागोरस थ्योरम से यू विल फिगर आउट दिस रूट ओवर ऑफ 20x. मानते हो? मानते हो कि नहीं? यू विल फिगर आउट दिस थिंग रूट ओवर ऑफ 20x. सो यू विल फिगर आउट दिस लेंथ रूट ओवर ऑफ 20x. 20x आ गया. ठीक है, इफ दिस इज 20x, तो इन अ सिमिलर वे फ्रॉम दिस अपर ट्राइंगल ऑल्सो यू कैन फिगर आउट. अपर ट्राइंगल से आपको मिल जाएगा. ये लेंथ भी आपको पाइथागोरस थ्योरम से मिल जाएगा. AF also you will figure out. AF will be what? R by 5 था ना. X, ये X ही था, हमने इसको X माना था. This was X, this was 3x, and this length is what? This length is root over of 10x. This length is root over of 10x. ठीक है, तो FE will be root over of 20x and AF will be root over of 10x. अपर ट्राइंगल से आपको वो मिल जाएगा. अपर ट्राइंगल से ये मैंने r by 5 लिख दिया था, देयर इज नो नीड. वी कैन कीप इन टर्म्स ऑफ x ओनली. ठीक है, बिकॉज वी हैव गॉट दिस रिलेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ r. r इज बेसिकली 5x. r इज 5x फ्रॉम हियर. तो ये x ही हमने लिया था. लेट दिस बी x ओनली. ठीक है ना, लेट दिस बी x ओनली. सो हियर वी हैव x. ये लेंथ पता है, ये लेंथ पता है, ये लेंथ इज 3x. तो पाइथागोरस थ्योरम से दिस विल बी व्हाट? रूट ओवर ऑफ 10x. तो बस हो गया ना. FE by FA they have asked for. So FE by FA is how much? Root over of 20x divided by 10x. ठीक है ना, x cancels out. So we have root over of 2 only. ठीक है, ये काफी सिंपल क्वेश्चन था. दिस वाज अ वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड मैनिपुलेटिव क्वेश्चन. कुछ थ्योरम वगैरह कुछ ज्यादा कुछ है ही नहीं यहाँ पे. पाइथागोरस थ्योरम लगाओ, बाकी सब दिख जाएगा ऑटोमेटिकली. वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन. Okay, next we have this question which says that we have some increasing function b. ठीक है, and domain codomain is given, and we have this integral which is converging. Fine. So we have to see that which of this series also will be converging. तो हम मान लेते हैं कि सपोज हियर आई टेक दिस x is e raised to the power of k. सपोज I take the value of x to be e raised to the power of k. ठीक है, x को मान लेते हैं e raised to the power of t. So dx is what? dx will be e raised to the power of t dt. So we have to change the range also. ठीक है, so when x is 1, t is what? 0, and when x is infinity, t is also infinity. So the new range is actually 0 to infinity, and e raised to the power of t divided by beta b of e raised to the power of t dt. ठीक है, so if this integral converges, this will also converge. This integral will also converge. Okay, and if this is convergent, so as integration 1 to infinity e raised to the power of t divided by b of e raised to the power of t dt will be also convergent. ठीक है, again by this summation approximation we can say that summation of e raised to the power of t upon b of e raised to the power of t, this quantity will also converge. This series will converge, where the summation range will go from t is equal to 1 to infinity. ठीक है, by this summation approximation. चलेगा? So definitely option C is correct. ठीक है, okay, next we have this question which says we have two statements, so we have to verify which one is correct. Actually, we have to check this thing, which one is correct. The first statement says there exists a differentiable function g such that R2R such that g of x cube plus x to the power of 5 is e raised to the power of x minus 100. If you simplify this thing, like we are given g of x cube plus x to the power of 5 is e raised to the power of x minus of 100. So if I differentiate this thing, so g dash of x cube plus x to the power of 5 by chain rule multiplied by 3 of x square plus 5 x to the power of 4 is equal to e raised to the power of x. So if I simplify this thing, so we have g dash of x cube plus x to the power of 5 is e raised to the power of x upon 3x square plus 5x to the power of 4. So we are having this thing finally. So here you can clearly see, if you put the value of x to be 0, this quantity is undefined. G dash of x is undefined. G dash of 0 will be undefined. If you put the value of x to be 0, g dash of 0 will be undefined, and hence g dash of 0 does not exist, and definitely the function is not differentiable at 0. Function is not differentiable at 0, so definitely statement 1 is false. Statement 1 is definitely false. Now we see the second statement. Second statement says there exists a continuous function g such that R2R such that g of e raised to the power of x is cube plus x to the power of 5. So g of e raised to the power of x is x cube plus x to the power of 5. This thing is given. Okay, what I do, I'll take this value of e raised to the power of x as t. So x is what? Log of t, right? X is what? Log of t. So we are finally having g of t to be log t whole cube plus log of t whole to the power of 5. We are having this thing finally. Now suppose they have given the range of values to be R to R. ठीक है, function is defined from R to R. अगर ध्यान से देखोगे, suppose for t tending to 0 plus, ठीक है, 0 minus तो हो नहीं सकता. You cannot take 0 minus because log's domain is defined from 0 plus. ठीक है, तो beyond 0 towards the left hand side you cannot take 0, also exact 0 you cannot take. So for t tending to 0 plus, this will tend to minus infinity. G of t is tending to minus infinity. Both of these are tending to minus infinity. Minus infinity whole cube is minus infinity. So as minus infinity whole to the power of 5, which is minus infinity. So both of these quantities are tending to minus infinity. So at 0 plus, we are having g of t to be minus infinity. Now the thing is, here the function is not continuous. The reason because function is defined from real number to real number, right? And we are getting at 0 plus minus infinity. So beyond 0 minus, so we are not having any, the specific graph only. Beyond 0 minus, the function cannot be defined, and 0 plus, it's not. At 0, we don't have the function value, and at 0 plus, we are having minus infinity. So function cannot be continuous, right? For this domain given, for this definition of the function, they have given real number to real number, the function cannot be defined, है ना? So definitely both neither 1 nor 2 are correct. Neither 1 nor 2 is correct. Option D is correct. Both of them are wrong. Okay, so we have the last question. This looks like a dangerous one, but this was pretty easier. So we have a function psi given. Psi is going from R to R, be a continuous function where this integration is given to be 1. F is one more function, real number to real number, be a differentiable function. Then we have this limit. We have to find the limit value. Okay. तो ये दिख रहा था कि ये 1 minus y divided by epsilon is there. So we take this to be t. फिर ये हो जाएगा. If you take this to be t, this will work out. So 1 minus y divided by epsilon, तो आप t ले लो. So once you take this to be t, so what is y? Y is what? 1 minus of epsilon t, right? And dy is what? Dy will be minus of epsilon dt. ठीक है? So this limit, finally this limit will turn out to be limit epsilon tending to 0. ठीक है? आपको रेंज भी चेंज करना है. We have to change the range also. Range change कर लेते हैं यहाँ से. When what happens when 1 minus epsilon and what happens for 1 plus epsilon. ठीक है? तो जब 1 minus epsilon हो जाए, then what will happen to t? T will become 1. मानते हो ना? For this substitution, t क्या हो जाएगा? T will become 1. राइट? ठीक है ना? अरे व्हेन y, ये y वैल्यूज है, व्हेन y इज, और ये y वैल्यूज है, व्हेन y इज 1 minus epsilon, t will become what? 1. And when y is 1 plus epsilon, t will become minus 1. So integral will now go from integration 1 to minus 1, 1 to minus 1, और 1 by epsilon. सोचो 1 by epsilon, ये जो है ना 1 by epsilon dy is what? Minus dt. तो एक माइनस बाहर कर लेते हैं. लेट्स टेक वन माइनस आउट. सो माइनस ऑफ dt इज देयर. ठीक है? अच्छा, f of y is there. f of y is 1 minus epsilon t, right? And 1 minus y divided by epsilon we have taken to be t. So here we are having psi of t dt. Finally we are having this thing. So as you put the limit epsilon tending to 0, this will tend to 0, this will become 0. ठीक है? और ये माइनस साइन जो है ना, टू एडजस्ट दिस माइनस साइन, व्हाट आई डू, आई चेंज द लिमिट्स फ्रॉम -1 to 1. तो दिस माइनस साइन विल गेट एडजस्टेड. हो जाएगा. ठीक है? एंड आफ्टर पुटिंग दिस लिमिट, दिस विल बिकम f of 1, है ना? और ये बन जाएगा psi of t dt. बन जाएगा क्या? psi of t dt. Now f of 1 is what? Constant. So you can take out this outside this integration. So we have f of 1 outside, integration of -1 to 1 psi of t dt, which they have given in the question to be 1. ये वैल्यू दिया गया है क्वेश्चन में 1, तो मतलब क्या होगा? f of 1 ओनली. ठीक है? सो ऑप्शन ए इज करेक्ट. फाइन. So this completes the paper. All the best.